self-esteem has risen a bit in terms of just I like myself and I'm like, oh, maybe this guy does like me for me. And then it happens that they just want an autograph from you or they want, honestly, someone wrote me that today. And a guy that has been interested in me and asking me out a ton. And he just wrote me today like, hey, I heard you're going to be on Rogan. If there's any chance you could get an autograph from him, that would be so cool. Thank you so. And I just wrote back, no. Like just no with nothing else. And it felt so good.
No, and you don't even bother putting a period.
No, I didn't say no. I'm sorry. No, I don't feel comfortable doing that. No. But that's happened before.
So you worry that they look at you as being someone who's got a high profile, and maybe if they connect themselves to you, it can help their life in some way.
They'll get to fuck other girls in their social circle because they said they fucked a girl that was on Celebrity Game Night playing badminton with Bob Saget. Like that. I mean, that's how I feel. And I'm not wrong. Like this does happen. There was another instance where a guy got a picture. A guy I thought liked me, and I do think he likes me, but he got a picture with me, and I guess we both weren't wearing masks in the picture. I guess we were too close to each other, and he couldn't post the picture because he felt like it would be a bad look for me. We're not wearing masks, but we were like, for me, I was like, we're far enough apart, but do what you want. And I go, okay. He's like, so I'm not gonna post it. And I was like, okay, that's totally fine. And then he's like, but I would really like to see you again. Like I really liked hanging out with you. I'd love to take you out sometime. And I was like, hey, I just don't think I'm in a point in my life where I want to be dating right now. And he goes, well, can we just meet up to get a picture?
Oh.
So it happens.
Ew.
It happens a lot. It happens.
Can we meet up just to get a picture?
So now
I just want to let everybody know I know you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then this what I see is him getting that picture and then going back to like show the girls that he really wants to bang. They're his age at some party, and he's like, oh, I got a picture with Nikki Glaser, and they're like, we don't know who she is. What is she like? Ew, she's like 36, and then they all make fun of me, and that's like the thing I have in my head.
Oh no!
And I watched her special; it wasn't even funny, and I just see them all making fun of me, and like how pathetic that I am that I've like fucked a younger kid. Like I shouldn't say the word kid.
How
but
old
like,
is he?
I think he's like 25, which is not.
That's not that bad.
No, he can
for
ride
a guy. That's standard.
He's going to love that I'm talking about him. I really want to change the subject.
Shit.
Ugh. Isn't that's the worst part? To talk about these people, they're so excited. I'm gonna get a text as soon as I'm out of here.
Hey,
it's gonna be
I didn't know there was some animosity between us.
I swear, I really did want to spend time with you. I think you're really great.
I wanted to take a picture with you just because I think you're awesome. I just wanted to document the fact that I know you.
There was this guy on a plane a couple weeks ago, and I met him at my gate. And usually when I fly, I just like put on my headphones and like sleep mask, and I just try to stay. I don't want anyone talking to me.
Mouth mask and sleep mask. You're gone.
Oh my god! And face shield. I've been wearing the shield too.
Shield.
Don't
Welder shield.
Yeah, I want to make a statement that like I hate all of you not wearing a mask, and now I have to doubly protect myself. And look what you've made me do. I want to send that message. I love wearing the shield. At first I felt stupid. Now I feel cool. And if anyone's going to judge me, they can't recognize me. They can't even see me in there. So it's great. So usually but when I fly, even pre-COVID, I would just always I just didn't want anyone talking to me. I've been caught in conversations on planes with people, and it's just like.
Brutal.
It's brutal. And I learned the hard way, but like years and years ago.
Some people just don't stop. And you can never close your eyes. You can never relax.
And
they
you
just
do
keep
close your
yapping.
eyes, and they still talk.
Yeah.
You put your sleep mask down there talking, and you have to lift it back up, and you just have to eventually say, I just don't want to talk. But this one guy sat next to me at my gate, and I feel bad because he heard me talk about him on Whitney's podcast, and he felt really bad that this happened, but whatever. But it just, I want to just tell you that it happened. I was sitting at my gate. I was a hot guy sat down next to me. And I took out my headphones. I made like my head accessible. Like I kept my mask on, but I took out my headphones to be like, if you want to talk to me, you definitely could. And I did. I said there was like I don't know. There was a gate announcement that was kind of funny, and I just like muttered something to myself, like making fun of the woman talking, trying to get this guy to like laugh or just spark up a conversation. And he was just like, hey, I'm a big fan. And I was like, really? I was like, oh my gosh, thanks. I was like, what do you know me from? Like, what do you? He's like, I love your show. And I'm like, what show? And he's like, your podcast. And I was like, oh, this guy knows me because my podcast, it's like, I do it every day. It's really like it's like reading my diary. I don't even like my friends to listen to it. It's just too much. So I was like, oh, this guy like accepts me for me, and he likes it. He's like tall, hot. I can't see half of his face, but I like he's cute.
It looks good. What you see looks good.
Yeah, and I never ever meet guys like out in public. I've never been someone that like has chatted up a guy at my gate or like on the plane. It just never happens to me. And so I'm like, yes. We start chatting up, and it's like going really well. And I'm flying Southwest, so there's no like boarding order. Or no, there is. I'm like the first to board, but there's no seat assignment. Right. So he says to me, "Save me a seat next to you. Let's continue this conversation on the plane." So I'm getting on the plane. And I'm like, "Listen, I want to sleep. I need to sleep, and but I gotta find a husband, and this might be the one. Like I gotta put myself out there. I've been so closed off for so many years. So I get on that plane." And we're chatting. We're having like a really good time. He's like funny and nice and interesting. Similar interests, and you know he lives on the West Coast, but I'm like, I can move anywhere. Like I'm down. Let's do this. And it's flirty, but it's not like there's nothing over the top. But I was just like, I kept thinking, I didn't see a ring on his finger. There's no mention of a girlfriend. And then finally, I'm like, we need to switch this to like a flirty kind of. We need to talk about dating or something to get us in that kind of vein of conversation. And I said something like, so have you been dating during COVID? And this is 2.5 hours into the flight. And he's like, oh, well, I have a girlfriend who I live with. And I was just, I almost started crying not because I was like, oh, this guy, I thought I was going to be with him, but because I just could have been sleeping that entire time. And I wasted I don't want to talk to anyone.
But there's no other way to know.
You could have mentioned her
but wait
5 minutes in.
But why? If he just thought that you thought that he was a fan and he wanted to talk to you. If there was no flirtiness.
Why would I want to talk to a fan for that long? Why?
Maybe just because he's an interesting person and you're bored. How would he know that you were tired?
No, it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. It was my fault to get my hopes up. But that's too far into a conversation to not talk. You're talking to a girl who you know is single.
You sound like a guy.
Age appropriate.
You do. You sound like a guy.
I do?
Right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fair.
I'm talking to her for fucking 2 hours.
That's
and
too
then
long.
Finally she says, I have a boyfriend I live
that's
with.
bullshit.
I'm like, what the fuck? I bought you 3 drinks already.
Yeah, I'm that guy. Don't waste my time. Don't waste my money. If you have a girlfriend, I was really ticked off.
But he's a fan, though. You are a public person.
Didn't
you are a professional
that
comic.
Was what was going on.
But Nikki, you have fans. You sell out all over the country.
I know.
You're a real comedian.
It had been many months since I had been on stage. I've been living with my parents for 4 months. I forgot who I was.
Oh, that's so funny.
And I was so excited. I was so sad. And I continued the conversation because then I go, you know what, Nikki, why can't you just get to know someone?
Yeah.
And relationships fail. He has a girlfriend. It's not like he's married. Like, I'm sorry.
His kids are going to grow up. They're going to get out of the house eventually.
Yes.
Whatever. You can wait years.
Yeah.
It's no big deal.
I'll plant that seed. If a guy has a girlfriend, I don't.
Dig a hole.
I'm not going to like outwardly flirt with a guy or like try to break up a relationship. I mean, I would never do that. But if a guy has a girlfriend, I'll still like have a flirty conversation because most things don't last.
Most things don't last. Well, everything doesn't last.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Everything.
Too.
Your life.
But if a guy's married, then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to have no hope here.
A story about a couple that dated when they were in high school and then they got married. They married other people, broke up, the whole deal, went through lives, and then got married again when they were in their late 70s.
That is sweet. I like that.
It's kind of adorable.
Yeah, it is kind of adorable.
Like they decide, like, well, we've been fucking around all this time.
Yeah.
What have we been doing?
I know. I feel like I've been circling the same guy for a really long time.
How long?
I've only had
like a shark.
Yeah.
Or like a cat.
God, like that is extinct mouse, just scampering about. People haven't seen me since the '60s. It's not. I've only really had one actual relationship, and we got back together, back and forth for like 5 or 6 years. Broke up and got back together. Broke up and got back together, and then we haven't been together for over like 3 years now, but we slept together for a while even after that, but we haven't slept together for like a year and some change. And oddly enough, he just moved back to St. Louis too.
Oh,
we both met in New York
shit.
City, but he's living with his parents too.
Oh,
in St. Louis,
perfect.
as we're both looking to what we're gonna do next. Yeah, you think it is perfect, but he won't have sex with me.
What?
I know.
He
Because
won't?
I think he like
Is gay?
cares about me.
Oh.
And like doesn't want to
Right.
upset me because I tend to have sex with someone and then I get my
Attached.
hopes up a little bit. I mean, I got my hopes up on a plane with like in a conversation with the guy. I was like planning our future together.
What were you thinking? What was like the ultimate goal? Like you're seeing the babies, you're seeing the whole thing?
No, it's just like he was talking about his family and I was like picturing meeting them. And he mentioned like moving to San Diego and I was like kind of annoyed because I'm like, we haven't even talked about San Diego yet. Like, I'm not even joking you. He mentioned some things that I'm like, well, you don't even know that I want to go there, but I would. But that's weird that he would just say that. So yeah, I mean, I really do. As soon as I start talking to a guy, I start picturing our future. I
that's
picture like
hilarious.
walking down the aisle to him. Yeah, I get ahead of myself.
Well, that's
Maybe
better
my
than
problem.
the opposite.
Okay, which
The
is
opposite is like never thinking you're ever going to be in a relationship, and every guy you talk to never imagining that it's ever going to go anywhere.
yeah, no.
So
At least I have some hope. Yeah,
you're hopeful.
I do have hope.
Yeah, you're hopeful. So
I
this
don't know.
this guy cares about you,
Mm-hmm.
so he won't hook up with you because he doesn't want to get your hopes up.
Yeah, it's really nice
That's
because
a
every
nice
time
guy.
every time we hang out together, I'm always like, can we please just have sex? Like I haven't
Wow.
had sex in 17 months now. It's so long, Joe.
He won't just hook you up? A
no,
terrible
well
person.
I know.
It's terrible.
I'm and I'm really. I mean, I could get laid. It's not a like. There are guys that would gladly fuck me, but I just don't. I don't feel comfortable having random sex. I'm not good
Yeah.
at it. I need to really like someone, and he just knows how to get it done. And we've done it so many times. It just
Knows
feels
how
like
to
it would
get it
be
done.
so easy.
Yeah, it
but
would
I
be.
don't. But he's right. I probably would think, oh my God, we're gonna be something. We're gonna get back together, and then my heart would get broken again. So it might not be worth it. But
What does he do?
He's he works in radio. He was a producer, behind the scenes producer. We met on a show that I had on MTV, and then we created a show together on Comedy Central, and then that show got canceled, and then we got canceled, and then now he's on the radio in St. Louis. He's like a broadcaster now. And yeah, so
At least he's a good guy.
he is a good
That
guy.
he's thinking about it that way.
Yeah,
Because
it's
most
really
guys, if a girl's like, well, can we please have sex? Like, that's it? Just sex? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And I've said that before so many times.
Oh, a
Like
lot of girls have.
that's all I want. I don't want anything more than that.
That's so not true, though. You got to learn. Men have to learn that that's not really true. I mean, I've only had a couple times ever in my life, but I was younger and stupid, where a girl said, "I just want sex." But then after you give it to them, generally that's not really the case.
No, it's
because I
not.
think women develop like intimacy bonds with men in a different way. Like we were talking
Right.
earlier about, not that I think I know, right? Or it's generalizing, but we were talking about using. Like men do not care if you use them. It means zero. Like if a woman is like, "I just want to use you for sex," guys are like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Like it's not, there's no negative connotation. Like if you are walking by a girl and her friends and she used you for sex and she tells her friends, "Yeah, I fucked that guy just for the sex," and
He's
the
gonna
guy's
be
there, he'd be
psyched.
like, he's not gonna feel bad. But if
Yeah.
a girl walks by and a guy's hanging out with his friends and it's like, "Yeah, I just use her for sex," she's gonna be like, ugh. She's gonna feel
Right.
terrible. A guy wouldn't feel bad at all unless he's really weird. Obviously, we're generalizing again.
Sure.
But most men are not going to have an issue with that.
I don't know. I just got kind of horned up when you said when I pictured passing a guy and someone said I just used her for sex. That kind of was exciting
You
to
got
me.
excited about that?
Because he doesn't want anything. I'm scared of intimacy
Right.
in a big way. So I do like the idea of just being used and like, oh, someone just doesn't want to get to know me.
The
or, like,
problem
know-
is if you get rocked, right, and it's fun and you enjoy it and you actually have a good time. Like you got to assume too, if you're having sex with someone, you don't hate them.
Yeah,
You like them
I
as a
know
person.
that's the problem. You have to like someone to have sex with them, and then when you have
Yes.
sex with them, then now you like them and you had sex.
And
with them.
then here's the other problem. If you like them more than they like you, then you get upset. Like a lot of times people, when they get rejected by someone, they feel pain they feel pain of either being rejected or neglected, and then they associate that pain with something negative that the person has done, even if they haven't really done anything negative. And then they get angry at that person.
Yep.
And you're like, I didn't do anything.
That's what
like,
this
you
guy's
just
avoiding.
used me for sex. And you're like,
Yep.
no, we
Well,
had sex.
It's not even like I would feel like I was getting used, but I would just be so disappointed. Like, why don't you want more with me? Why wouldn't you
Right.
want to marry? Why don't you want to
Yes.
spend time with me all the
Yes.
time? Why don't you want to be my man? And that's the problem. But what he does do that makes me feel great is like he always says, I want to make it clear. I want to fuck you so bad. You look like he'll tell me all the things that I need to hear that essentially just kind of
Get you juiced up.
yeah, like it makes me feel as good as if I got dick down.
Okay, so he says all the things I want to, but the problem
Yeah,
is...
like you look so good. This is what I do to you. This is what I want to
I'd
do.
like to smash it.
Yes, and then I
But-
leave feeling like, oh, okay, like I still
That's
got it.
good. That's good.
So it
actually.
is good,
Sounds
but
like a good guy.
he is a good guy, and
Not
it's-
like that asshole on the fucking plane.
No, that guy was so good too. That poor guy wrote to me because we exchanged numbers. Because, like I said, plant that seed. His relationship might fall
Especially
apart.
now that you've talked about it on 2 different podcasts.
I know he's gonna be so.
That
He's
girl's
gonna
gonna
text
go,
me
"Is-
again.
Bob, is that you?
I know. Okay,
I need
just
to talk
if his
to you.
girlfriend is listening, I just want to say he did nothing inappropriate. He never flirted me. There was nothing he did that if he were my boyfriend, I'd be like, he shouldn't have done that. So he behaved like a true gentleman. Did not flirt with me. I read into it way too much. But I mean,
What are you gonna do?
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm
That
on
is the
Raya. I'm on
Raya is a
celebrity
dating app
dating
for
app.
celebrities, right?
I like a blue check mark, and it's not because I like guys that are famous, because they're famous and I want to be famous. It has nothing to maybe it has like a little bit to do with that. I'm not going to say it has nothing to do with that. Yeah, there's something hot about a guy being extremely successful and other people thinking that he's cool. Okay, yes, I'll give you that. I think it's because I can know them before I go into the date.
Right.
I can watch their stuff. I feel like I'm already acquainted with them. That's why I like a blue check mark. It like I can get to know you before I go on a date. I don't like going into these things blind. So
I get it.
that's why I like a blue check. But there's no one in St. Louis that's on the goddamn app.
No one?
No.
Not one person?
Really, honestly, no. There's no one in St. Louis on them.
Where are they all? New York and LA?
Yeah. Or like Stockholm. I mean, it's all over the globe. It's global. And so I'm connecting with some guys on that. And when I come to, and then I just always get so busy when I come here. I don't want to go on a first date with someone. I just want to hang out with my friends that I haven't seen in forever.
I've been into this book lately. It's called Irresistible. It's about addictions.
Downloaded it because I
Did
saw
you?
you recommend it. And
it's-
my God.
It's heavy, right?
Yeah. I'm really scared.
But one of the things I was thinking about when I was going through it is dating apps. Like, that's kind of the same
People are addicted
thing.
to those,
They
yeah.
have to be. Like, how many people are having these random encounters because of dating apps? Like,
Yeah.
how many people are... It's like swiping left. Which one is good? Swiping
Right is good.
right means you like them.
Yeah.
So do you go to the right?
You swipe them right.
So you go right.
You go right.
Okay, right.
Yeah, you
So you
swipe
go
them right.
from left to right.
Yes, you go from,
Okay.
they're in the middle and then you swipe them right. Or you swipe them left. And
And that means you like them.
left means no, you're
Fuck
garbage.
off.
I never want to see you again. And
Yeah.
right means let's do it. And sometimes you go too fast on the left because sometimes you're just like, oh, what does this app think
What
of
if you
me?
fuck up and you go, oh, I should have went right on that guy?
Oh,
Can you
you've-
go back?
I feel like Rose on the Titanic and Jack just fell into the abyss. Like, I really feel like my husband. I'm just like, what did I do? Like, because sometimes you go too fast. Because sometimes I'm just like, ugh.
Could have been the one, and then you're laying in bed going, what if it was him? And you can't go back?
You can't. You can shake the app very gently.
Shake it?
Yeah, you just like go like, because at first I was going like, bring it back! And, and it wouldn't work because people told me just shake it, it'll come back, and it wouldn't work. But then I realized you
Oh
have
my
to
God.
like do one solid. You have to be like in control of yourself,
Oh.
and then it'll come back. And then you see him wearing a tank top, and you swipe him left again. You're like, oh my God, ew, disgusting.
Tank tops are gross?
No, I mean, there's always I just find something about a guy that I can be like, I can't deal with that. He'll like say his dog is his best friend, or my mom thinks I'm a catch, or, you know, some part of his personality is based on a food he loves, just anything kind of
I'm the pizza
deplorable like
man.
that. Or like, I love to get lost in a good book, or just something. Just shut up. I want to cook for you. Whenever a guy writes that, I'm just like, You're poor. I mean, like, you take me to a restaurant. I don't want to watch you cook. Let's just go sit down, and I don't want to watch you have to, like, just because you got, one of those meal kit delivery services, I have to sit and watch you chop cilantro and talk about your connection with your nephew that I'm never going to remember because we're never going to see each other again. Just take me to a restaurant. I don't know. These guys are just trying their best. I just like get so angry at these apps.
So funny, the thing that gets you mad.
Just guys like, I get mad at guys that cook. I eventually cook for me, but like, just shut up. I don't care. I don't have, and I don't cook. It's not like I'm gonna take care of that. So I guess I would like a guy who cooks, but I'd like more like a guy who just like, I don't know what I want. I'm really, this isn't fair to anyone. I don't know what I want. I want a guy who I already know.
Oh my God.
And I can hang around with and then develop a crush on, and then I decide when we're going to take it to the next level.
You just want to be the boss.
Kind of. I want to be the one to be like, okay, now we can, even though I tend to like it when guys make the first move and kind of are a little bit aggressive.
What the fuck you want?
I'm all over the place, Joe. I don't know what the fuck I want. I got a guy who
I'm
texts
crying
me.
over here.
So am I. I just can't. Nothing can come out.
But I'm crying. It's not disrespectful laughter.
No, it's.
Oh my God, so
I know it's sad. I got a guy right now
hilarious.
who he's a I would say we're talking an A-lister here. Yeah, one of my first. Not my first, but he's definitely up there. I've known about him for years, been a fan, and we connected, and he just wants to sext with me and like have FaceTime sex and stuff like that. Like that's what he wants to do.
Without physical sex?
Well, he lives in Los Angeles and I live in St. Louis. And
well,
whenever I'm available or in his area, he doesn't seem to want to meet up. So it's just always, he checks in on me every couple weeks, and it's just like,
have you been intimate with this person?
No.
Oh, even
Met him
weirder.
one time in person, and then it went right to texting.
That's weird. Someone who, that's weird.
I know. I don't like it either. I'm like, can we hang out in person and then maybe I can virtually jerk you off or whatever you want me to
Got talent. Get it, stop, get the stop it.
Murray nowhere to go, and Mika Fitzpatrick had him contained.
Mika Fitzpatrick is going to race to the outside to try and get him to turn back inside where the rest of the defenders are. Way to go. Beautiful stuff. How deep were you?
I tried to give Mike a little pressure because the level was over there,
Yeah.
and at the snap, I just ran.
I got a young center fielder that I think might be special.
Okay.
That's a great kid right there. Minka?
Yeah.
Man, he worked his ass off, man. He got talent. Get it.
On the nose, 204 on the nose. Spin your hands out together. Hold still, sir. 204 on
To do, walk you through whatever it is you're doing to yourself. But I just made the mistake of getting him off one time when he was texting. Like, he always texts me at like 3 a.m.
Oh.
And it's just like, how are you feeling? Like, just checking in on my well-being in the middle of the night. And it's nice. I really do think he like cares about me, but like there's some kind of weird, and we both have intimacy issues. We've declared that to each other. So something's going on there, and we can't even see each other. I mean, I live in St. Louis with my parents, and he's in here. And
But you're here right now.
I know. I didn't let him know I was here, but I didn't tell
He's
him.
gonna find out
He has
when you
to.
talk about him on this podcast, and millions of people hear about it.
No one will know.
No. He'll know.
He'll know. Good. If
He'll
you're
know.
listening.
Aren't you friends with Nikki? Yeah. She's on the podcast talking about.
No. I don't think he tells anyone. I doubt he's told anyone that we're friends or
I
texting.
bet he tells one guy.
Maybe one guy.
He's
Yeah,
not a
well, let
friend.
him know. Let your friend know that I'm talking about him. But
Go
he,
tell your friend.
I do. I like. He's. Well, we did this one thing the other night because he texts me and then he wants to like have sex, and it takes me a little bit of time to get like really horny for someone.
should definitely
He just wants to
hang out.
jump into it.
Oh.
Right. I would just like to maybe just talk on the phone, get to know each other.
How about go out?
Okay.
Like a regular person.
Right. I would like that too.
Go on a date.
One time when pre-COVID, he was in New York, and I was like, let's meet up. And he was like, are you flirting with me? And I was like,
Oh, this has been going on a while.
I guess.
So
yeah.
COVID's 5-6 months, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's just off. It's off and on. It's every couple months this guy like remembers that I exist. It's really he doesn't like me. There's no future here. He watched my special and he was like, I think before my special he didn't think much of anything, and then he watched my special and I talk so much about sex. He like thinks that I'm super sexual, even though I haven't had sex in like so long. I don't even know.
Well, I
what
think
would
you're
do
sexual,
anymore.
but also sensitive. That's what's going on. It's not that you're not sexual. You're
Right.
sensitive. You don't want to get hurt, and you're also smart. And you've lived on this planet long enough to know what fucks you up and what doesn't. So you're careful.
Yes.
It's not that you're not sexual.
Okay, I like
You're
that.
pretty sexual.
Really?
Yeah, I would say you're very sexual.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I haven't felt that way, and I haven't hooked up in so long.
Yeah,
I
but
don't.
you
I don't get
obviously
horny
talk
that much.
about it a lot. Yeah, but you're not you're not around someone.
Yes.
That's
Oh
why.
yeah. If I was around someone
Yeah.
like and comfortable with that, if I had someone to have sex with, I'd be like your old lazy-eyed lady from back in the day. I can get addicted to sex pretty quick when I'm in a relationship and like having it. It's just an easy way to tap out and forget your feelings. So
Well, that was
I can,
also part of the book about Irresistible. It even talks about sex addictions and gambling addictions.
really
and all.
get into that book because I got distracted by my phone again within 3 seconds. I mean, I'm reading it on my phone as I'm learning that I'm
That your
addicted to my
phone's-
phone.
yeah.
That was a part of it. That's
Yeah.
I feel like so many guys are sex addicts. A lot that I deal with and like have relationships with or like communicating with. I'm just like, oh, this guy's a sex addict, and a lot of them are famous. I think that creates. I mean, you can have sex with anyone you want when you're famous.
Yeah, that's part of the
really
problem.
hot chicks,
Yeah.
really hot chicks.
They throw
That-
themselves
and-
at you, and you become
and
a
they're
woman.
sex addicts.
You're like the woman. You're the one who's being pursued.
Oh, right, yes. And so that's the problem with famous guys is they're constantly they're too busy with like really hot chicks constantly being thrown at them. They don't really need to have a relationship that's the appeal of having a relationship for a lot of guys. I think is just having a regular person to have sex with.
That's definitely one of it. And then there's also this book is talking about porn addicts and gambling addicts, and then it's really all the same thing. It's like your body and your brain gets fixated on particular activities,
Yep.
and those particular activities occupy your mind so much, and then it becomes a detriment to your life. And it's with video games, it's
Yeah.
with sex, it's with porn, it's with gambling, it's with drugs. And that they used to think that they're different things. They used to think and obviously drugs have like physical consequences, like heroin and alcohol. Like alcohol is one of the worst to get off of, because when you get off of alcohol, like people who are like legitimate alcoholics, they can die if they go cold. Amy Winehouse, that's how she died.
No bulimia.
I don't know if that's true.
No one talks about it.
Well, let's Google that.
Look it up because her documentary, she was puking her brains out at the end, and that can cause cardiac arrest like that. And so I think, it could have been a mixture of both, but I do think her bulimia had a huge.
I listen to fucking her shit so often. She's on my like regular playlist.
She's in so much pain. You can hear it in her
But
voice.
it was such a beautiful voice, such
know.
an interesting voice. Even when she's
So
singing
much
about
emotion.
going to rehab, you know? Amy
Yeah.
Winehouse killed by bulimia, not drugs, says her brother.
Yeah.
Drink and drugs took their toll, but eating disorder fatally weakened Amy.
Yeah, dude.
Says Al. How does?
Some serious shit.
But what is the the coroner's result though? Did they say? But the thing is, the brother
Yeah.
would know.
I just think that gets swept under the table so much, eating disorders, when really that is. And, COVID is killing a lot of people with eating disorders, too. People that on the other side of that, food addicts who can't stop eating, and obesity makes you so much more susceptible to COVID. I think I only know that because I've, dabbled in all of those things before, and it's terrible. Yeah, I'm a definite addict, and I got to watch it. But the sex addict thing, I just think that's one that's unchecked for so many people,
Yeah.
and so acceptable, and porn addiction. I mean, I can't get off without watching porn.
You can't get off at all without watching porn?
Not even close. I wouldn't even
Really?
try if my internet was down. We had a power outage the other day at my house, and it was just like, okay, well, I would be screwed without porn. I couldn't do it. I mean, I would figure out a way. I think I would manage, but if my toys aren't working and aren't plugged in, and if I don't have porn, I'm just not getting off. I've never been someone who can do it manually and with my imagination. It's really a problem because the porn I watch is like not good.
What kind?
Joe. Joe.
Nikki.
Dude, it's bad.
Like what
I mean,
kind? Like stepmom
well,
stuff?
No. Oh, that's
No?
tame. Are you kidding
Gang
me?
rape? Yeah? Really?
I mean, I got a threat on like a DM from just some fucking troll a while back that was like, if I put out a hit on the dark web for you to be gang raped and paid the guys $100,000 to do it, I could make that happen, and someone would accept that. And I was like, joke's on you that's my fantasy. No, I mean, I don't really mean that. Please do not do that. But I was also like, no, I'm not joking. Like tends to be the stuff that I watch is like really aggressive gangbangs and like women tied up. I pay for my porn because I feel so bad what's happening to the women in it. I hope that they are being compensated for it. So I pay like $30 a month for kink.com. I'm watching really fucked up stuff. And I've always been into like being tied up, and like I'm someone who doesn't feel like I deserve pleasure without like having pain. Like I don't ever celebrate anything, and I can only celebrate or like relax if I put in so much work that I'm just like dead. So it's really hard for me to like enjoy myself in life. I always have to I have to punish myself first. And so orgasms are not something that like I feel it's hard for me to give myself one and let myself have that much. It's like, it's too much. It's like Christmas. And you're like, you have to wait a year for Christmas. You can't give yourself Christmas every day. So I feel I like to be tied up and like forced to have Christmas. And like
Jesus Christ.
That's what I tend to like, is like, you have to do this. And because I don't like losing control either. And the orgasm is like the most you can lose control. I just feel like I don't like being that out of control, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm scared I'm just gonna like shit everywhere or something. Like I'm totally scared of shitting everywhere. I am. Is no one else scared of that?
No.
When they come?
I don't think I've never shit everywhere when I've come.
Or saying something that you regret, or like just doing, I don't know, having a Kramer moment when I'm just kidding. No, I'm terrified of what might happen. That's why I only have sex with people that I like trust so much, so that if I shit on them, I know that guy wouldn't hate me.
Right.
And like wouldn't tell people.
And that's why you're willing to let them tie you up. You trust them so much.
Because if they tie me up and I shit, okay?
Like, hey, you should have
That's my biggest fear. Yeah, it wasn't my fault. You tied me up. I had no choice.
Oh my God.
Or yeah. So if you're forced, then then it's not your fault what you did or what you said.
So do you ever watch regular porn, or is it always like
No,
tied?
never. It's always, I start at kink. I go to kink.com. I go to anal. I go to bondage. I go to gangbangs. My problem is I do not like the women to be abused. But you can't find gangbangs where the woman's being treated nicely. You can't find one where they're just like, good job. You're taking on so much. Like, I've talked about this in my special, but I thought after talking about it in my special and saying, can I please get a respectful gangbang? Porn would listen and heed my request and make her gangbang when they're just like, they're proud of her for her, tenacity and her strength during this really arduous journey, personal journey, and they're never nice to her. They're always calling her a dumb bitch. They're making her oink like a pig. They have a fucking boot on her head. They spit in her face. And I honestly, Joe, I'm not kidding you. I watch porn with half the screen covered up because I don't like what they do to her head, but I like what they're doing to the rest of her. Because they're so mean, choking her, like doing a fish hook. I don't like any of that, but I like the idea of gangbangs. I like the idea of a girl being like kind of used and taken advantage of. And I do feel guilty about all of this because I'm a feminist. Obviously, I love women and I want us to feel empowered, and I'm so sad for these women. But that's what gets me off. Like,
what a conundrum.
Yeah. I don't want to be fisted, Joe. But that's all that gets me off is watching women get fisted. I like that now, and I don't have any interest in having that done to me.
Why do you like
Or
it?
so I say.
Why do
I
you...
don't know.
Oh my God, Nikki. This might be the most fun podcast ever.
Oh my God, Joe,
It's
thank
so
you.
ridiculous.
I don't know what I'm even saying, but yeah, dude, I'm watching.
I'm crying.
I'm watching like it just is a slippery slope, dude. It just gets. You go from just like slight bondage where a girl's tied up and a guy's maybe like doing some stuff to her with a wand and like fingering her and choking her a little bit, and then it's just like 7 guys writing pig on a girl's head and making her oink and like and spitting on her.
Did you bookmark those?
I mean,
that's a good one.
I have a file. I have an email that I send to myself. It's called Porn I Like, and I just keep sending myself anytime I come from a video, I send it to myself.
Wow.
So I can go back, and I can also see my descendants into depravity through the years. I can see where I started and where I'm at and how it happened.
How long has this email chain been going on
It's been
for?
going on since 2017 is when I started it.
God.
So I have a good backlog of.
Wow.
But what I like about this is that usually the girl is. I don't like to see a girl in distress. I don't like to. As soon as I think that she's not having a good time, I get out of it. Because a lot of these girls are having a good time. They like to be pushed to the limit. One of my favorite porn actresses, and I just want to give her a shout out because she does brilliant work, is Kristen Scott. And one of the best videos is called School of Seduction. I think that's what it's called. And, or no. Oh, fuck, what is it called? There's like this academy that these girls go to where they learn to be sluts. And they have to like graduate, and there's like 5 days where they go to the school and they're tied up and they're just like fucked by a bunch of people, and they're made to like plank and get fucked at the same time as they're planking. And it's just like they have to do what you say. When someone tells you have to do something, you have to be like, oh, I guess I have to do it. It's not my fault that I'm a whore. And I just like that. That's what I'm into. Because I think I have so much guilt associated with wanting to be sexual or wanting to feel sexual that if someone's making me do it, then suddenly it's not my fault.
So do you think that's why you like bondage and gangbangs? Because it's out of the person's control?
Yeah. Yeah, and I was looking into because I was feeling guilty about having like, I don't have rape fantasies. I don't have that, but a lot of women do. So many women do. And it's actually called, it's not a rape fantasy because you're not fantasizing about actually being raped because that's not consensual. You want consensual, it's called CNC, consensual non-consent. That's what it's called, and I'm kind of into that. It's
That's an interesting phrase, consensual non-consent.
I know it's kind of murky, but
Yeah.
saying rape fantasy is just not.
Right, you don't want to be raped by someone you don't want to have sex with. You want to be raped by someone you're really attracted to, but you want to give into it, so you want it to happen. So it's sort of kind of rape, but not really rape because you actually want it to happen.
You want it to mimic. You want it to be like role-playing rape. So, but you could stop it at any time because you have a safe word and you have all these
Right.
things. But so it isn't rape. So women that go, I have a rape fantasy and think that's like quirky about themselves. You don't. You really don't. You don't want that. No one wants that. And so, that's what it's called is consensual non-consent is what so many women are into. And I read about it on Reddit because I'm in the subreddit sex, and it's just a very common thing that women want in bed. But women like to be choked. They like to be bossed around. They like their hair pulled. They like,
But they only like it to be done by people they want it to be done by.
Yes.
That's
I want
where
to
it
make
gets
that
weird,
very
right?
clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although there's sometimes that there's sometimes that, in some of these porns where the guy is like, I'm not attracted to him and I wouldn't want his dick inside me, but I definitely like when they treat you like a car they're working on and they just like use tools on you and there's no dicks involved. That appeals to me. That's a very popular one.
Like if there was a place you could go, like a body shop,
Yep.
and just get work done.
Yep. I would love it.
If there was a
And-
place you could go where guys would just massage your vagina and use tools on you, and you'd be totally down with that.
Yeah, as long as there's no cameras and no one would ever talk about that I was there. I mean, I'd be talking
Yeah.
about it on here the next week, but
But if
as
you,
long
you
as
could,
it was up to me.
you could wear a mask and your
Oh,
sleep
yeah,
mask
that's
as well.
good.
You
I
could
could
wear
wear a
both
mask.
masks.
Okay, yeah.
And you just lay there and have them eat you out.
No, I don't want them.
A mouth. You don't want the mouth.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe after go there a couple of times, you get bored with dildos.
No, dildos are so good. They're like dildos and toys are like amazing. I like a wand, and I don't even think I could have regular sex without also like
Really?
a vibrator too. Yeah, I want penetration, and I want something else too.
Wow.
It's just I don't. But
What's
Joe,
the longest time you've taken without any masturbation or sex?
Oh, months and months.
No
I can go
masturbation,
months without masturbating. Like it does not. But when I get hooked on it, like it's the same way I abstain from pot. Like right now I've gone 12 days, but if I sparked one up right now, I'd be doing it all the time until I go cold turkey and I quit. So I went a really long time without it during the quarantine, and then I haven't I haven't had sex since for a year and a half at this point, and I've hooked up a couple times in that time with guys, but I've always stopped it before I've even had been even close. I just knew I wasn't gonna come, so I was just like, let's stop.
When you were talking about like gangbangs and stuff, your hands, you had like a death grip on your knuckles, and you're like wringing your hands back and forth. And you're going over in your head. I'm like, Jesus.
Oh my God, I know. I get really intense about it.
Yeah, you were very intense about it.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's because I feel really bad even admitting that that's what I'm into.
Wow, you shouldn't feel bad. That's what you're into. Look, you're not a bad person. You're a good person.
Thanks,
and
Joe.
you're into weird shit, but that's okay.
I'm not the only one.
Oh, there's a website.
Yeah.
Kink.com is not supported by Nikki Glazer alone.
No,
Could
they
you imagine?
aren't.
If it's like there was a chart. It's like, look, it's all Nikki. We thought we had subscribers. This one lady, she's out of her fucking mind. Like, there's a whole industry based around this one broad.
They gotta make more too, because I am running out of videos to watch. Because it's hard for me to go back and watch old ones. So I've been going back and because they've been around forever, and I went back 68 pages. And there's stuff from pre 9/11. I'm like, I can't watch this woman from 2000 take on 6
20
guys.
years later, now
yeah,
she's
because I just
80.
picture her now. Like, where did her life take her?
That's the problem, right? So you think about what happened to them that allowed them to be that person in the gangbang with pig written on their face.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. And that's why a lot of videos on kink.com have a pre-interview and a post-interview. So you see the girl go, I'm really looking forward to this gangbang today. I've wanted to do this for so long. It's been a goal of mine. I'm really into this. I don't like this. You see them consent to all of it, and then it happens. And then they have the post one where they're shivering in a towel with wiping pig off their forehead. And they're like, that was fun. And you see them, and there's always a post interview to, prove they survived.
Oof. Rough. Do you get criticized for talking about this stuff, by other women?
I will after this, for sure. But no, generally not, because I think I'm not
so
alone.
Far with this one, you think? Why do you think you will with this one? Because you got really deep into it?
Just because you have a bigger audience. More people are going to hear it. That's why.
But
and I think
you're
it's
not alone. And I think there's probably a lot of women that are listening to this right now that go, yes, same.
Yeah.
Same.
I just tend to, with my addictions, I tend to go from, they get bad quickly.
So they start off mild.
These are all progressive things. Eventually you'll get there with porn if you watch it long enough. It might take someone else thousands of years to get where I got in a shorter amount of time.
Right.
But it all is leading to, it gets gross. That's why these things exist. You don't start off liking a woman with a boot on her head. That's not something that you just slide there eventually.
Well, that's the thing about porn in general. If you go back and you watch old porn was just people on dates. It was. If you go back and watch porn, from the 80s, it's basically two people are hanging out, and the one's like, God, I'm just so tense. I've got such a headache. And the guy's like, hey, let me rub your neck, and rubbing the neck, and it's like, oh, that feels so good. I'm so hot. I need to take my shirt off. And they take their shirt off, and then they start making out, and then
Yeah.
I mean, it was
That
basically
would do nothing for me now. Yeah.
But that's what it is.
I
It's
know.
like it's basically just people having sex, normal people in normal situations. And then there's something about where people need to escalate. Everything has to like, okay, I've seen that, now I need to see more. And that's what points to the fact that it's an addiction.
Yeah.
You know? I've never been into anything other than just sex.
That's so good.
Yeah, luckily.
Yeah.
The only porn that I've ever watched it's just girls with big asses. Just sexy girls.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just sex.
That's as
normal sex.
fetishy as you get. It's just big
I
asses.
I've never been into any of that. No choking, nothing.
It gets so weird, Joe.
It is weird.
There's so much weird stuff
but I'm
out
not
there.
into choking in real life either. I've never never been into that anyway.
Yeah, I don't know why guys are into it. I don't relate to. I don't know that I'd want a guy to like want to do that to me.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, but
Because if you escalate, so think about the escalation in porn. Well, what if a guy is into choking girls and then he gets bored with just regular
I
choking?
know.
It's like, I want to use a rope. Like, I promise I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to use a rope. Now, I want to use, what if it's just like a wire?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to, it's just make a little mark on you. Okay, what if I blindfold, what if I hit you? Like, and then things get weird.
what if I murder? Yeah, and then it leads. I mean, I was
Well, that's
watching
the
that
thing
Golden
that-
State Killer documentary, and that's what that guy did. He started just doing break-ins, and then that wasn't really scratching the itch anymore. Then he moved on to rapes. And that was doing good for a while. And then slowly he started murdering. Like, it didn't just start out murder. You saw his progression. It's like, this stuff can get really scary. I mean, I think being choked is nice because, I mean, you were talking about it with David Blaine yesterday. Like, it feels good to, like, lose consciousness and, like, come out of it and be pushed to that brink of, like, there's something euphoric about it.
Yeah, I think there's the euphoric thing about getting choked out is like as the brain like rushes back to consciousness, there's probably a bunch of hormones and things that are just floating around in there that get fired up. And also like there's like dopamine and all sorts of spikes. That's the other thing that they were talking about in this book, Irresistible, talking about the dopamine rush that people get from various addictions. And they were talking about Parkinson's drugs. This is really interesting because Parkinson's medication, apparently what it does is it spikes dopamine. And it also, it has a lot of really weird side effects. Like people get addicted to gambling. They get addicted to give away all their stuff. There's a drug called Reequip. And GlaxoSmithKline wound up paying this guy somewhere in the equivalent of like $600,000 because he was a straight heterosexual man with no problems with gambling, and he had Parkinson's. And he got on this Reequip drug, and he became a gay sex and gambling addict. And he started having risky gay sex, like really risky. Like he would contact people on Craigslist and meet in alleys and shit. And he was just gambling all his money away. But so much so that he won in court.
Suing them because
see if you can Google the story. It's Reequip, and the man, I believe he's from Ireland, and he won in court.
because he's like he wasn't a gay man.
It was a straight man. Oh,
right.
I mean, I never even thought about it before, you know. And then he became a gay sex and gambling addict. I had him in my act for a while.
Right.
I had the story in my act for a while, like because apparently he would like snap out of it like in the middle of doing stuff.
Oh,
Here it is.
yeah.
Parkinson's patient wins lawsuit over gay sex addiction. A French man who so it's French. See, I don't trust French people. Period. Look at his name, Didier. That's too close to Diddler. Right? Didier Jambard, 52 of Nantes, France, sued the pharmaceutical giant GlaxoSmithKline in 2011, claiming the drug Reequip caused him to lose 82,000 euros gambling on the internet. He said he also became addicted to gay sex and risky sexual encounters. He said he was raped after starting the drug in 2003 and attempted suicide 8 times.
Good Lord.
It's a great day, Jambard, who was accompanied by his wife during the emotional ruling, told the French press agency. It's been a 7-year battle with our limited means for recognition of the fact that GlaxoSmithKline lied to us and shattered our lives. Parkinson's disease destroys neurons deep within the brain that releases the feel-good neurotransmitter dopamine. Reequip belongs to a class of drugs called dopamine antagonists, or agonists, that relieve Parkinson's symptoms such as shaking, stiffness, slowness, and trouble balancing by activating dopamine receptors. But the drugs have side effects that, while rare, can be serious.
Yeah.
But it's a weird thing. It's like, even if you have the urge to do it, you are not in control of your own actions when you just go out.
I gotta take Requip. Finally, give me some permission to do some stuff that I've always wanted to do. Have an excuse. It was the Requip.
I wonder if it works on people who don't have Parkinson's. Like, what does it do to people who don't have Parkinson's?
Right. I mean, that's terrifying. And you will. I would always hear that in the side effects of drugs. Like, if you are suddenly gambling out of nowhere, and you're like, "What is that? This is a drug for heartburn." And if I'm gonna start gambling out of nowhere,
come on, 7.
But it's scary. These drugs. I mean, that I'm trying to get on a new antidepressant because I'm tired of having these lows that just aren't necessary and are just scary sometimes, because the things I think. And the things I just have these thoughts that come in that can't stop, and I just can't work. I can't be funny when I'm depressed. So I got to get back on something. But I'm so scared of all these weird side effects and the things that it might make me do.
Rightly so.
And so, I mean...
How long have you been on antidepressants?
I mean, I was on them for years and years, ever since I was... Like, I got anorexic when I was, 18, and then I was so depressed from that because it just, starts eating your brain, that I got on stuff. And then ever since then, I've struggled with depression. I think even before then, I was a really depressed kid. I look at pictures, and I'm just, staring despondently into a corner, on holidays. I'm like, oh, I was just depressed. And so... Now I'm looking into maybe having ADHD, because it's often misdiagnosed in women, because women don't really have the hyperactivity part of it. And it just makes us kind of depressed and have low self-esteem and messy and all the things that I am that, I've struggled with.
Do you worry, though, about, messing with your brain chemistry with these drugs that, maybe they don't have the right stuff that they're giving you, and it might be causing other problems or exacerbating the current ones?
No, because I've been off them for a while now. And
how long have you been off them?
For a couple months.
So you're not on anything right now?
And I've been gone through years of not being on stuff.
Are you exercising?
Yeah, every day.
What do you do?
I run 4 miles a day.
Oh, okay. So you're getting a lot of exercise.
Yeah, I do. I try to exercise a lot. But
it's still fucking with you?
And I eat healthy. Yeah, man. I just get, all of a sudden, these fucking thoughts that come in, and then I'm depressed for 4 days so badly that I could file for disability as a comedian, because I cannot be funny. I can't. My brain doesn't work.
You can file for disability?
I should be able to.
Yeah,
because I can't do the thing that I feel disabled. I feel like that's when I start thinking, okay, I got to find a new job. I can't do this. I can't be broadcasting every day. I have nothing interesting to say. And
that's not true at all. Everything you said today has been very interesting.
Thank you. Well, I'm not in a bad place today. I'm actually out of it. I don't know. It just comes on 4 days out of the month.
Did you wake up? You felt like I'm in a good place?
Oh, today? No, I've been in a good place since Saturday. I woke up on Saturday and I snapped out of it. But, when I sent out that tweet, the tweet that led to me even being here was because I was just suffering for 4 or 5 days with really bad depression where, I called Gary Goldman. Do you know what he went through?
Yeah, he's been through serious depression. Right?
I had a text drafted to Neil Brennan. I wanted to talk to other guys that have had to go places. And
Neil actually did ketamine therapy.
I know. Yeah.
He told me it was wild. He said he went to a doctor. They put you in a chair, like a regular doctor's chair, and they induce you into a psychedelic state. He goes, and I was tripping balls. I go, really? He goes, yeah. I went to the doctor's office, and they give you fucking ketamine, and you trip balls. And I'm like, did it help you? He goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, it helped. Ketamine apparently has a big effect on people that are depressed. And some people are taking it in a spray, like a mist. Oh. I don't know if it's a nasal spray.
Yeah. Or just a body splash.
Fucking Whitney has something like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just...
I don't think it's a body splash. I think you put it
You
in
just
your
like
mouth.
spray it in front of you and walk through
It's
it
either
like a
in your
perfume.
nose or your mouth. But
Okay.
It's like a ketamine mist, like a very low dose of ketamine, like a
Yeah.
micro dose of ketamine.
Well, I'm gonna talk to him about it too. But it's so funny because when I'm in it, I'm so in it, and then when I'm out of it, I just forget that it can get that bad, and I don't even think about it. I forget that it can get so bad. But
And there's no triggers that are making it bad or good.
You know, right now, like things are really not like are very uncertain. My career's going great by all. You know, if you were,
Indications.
by all indications, I should not be depressed. Like,
Yeah,
I
but
have
you-
a loving family. I have my
Right.
health.
But you say your career's going great, but everyone's career hit a wall.
Yeah, dude.
All of us that
Yeah.
are comics, we hit a wall.
Yeah.
And Mark, the only one who's touring regularly is Bert.
I know.
And he's depressed right now. He's fucking told me he just did 19 shows or 15 shows in 9 days. He goes, I'm fucking exhausted. I got to stop. And he goes in his agency's trying to push him to organize a summer tour or a fall tour now. And
I relate to. I think that Bert is a lot like me. That if he does stop and stops working,
Yeah.
it will be so much worse than it was.
He'll freak out. And, you know, he loves to drink too.
Yeah.
You know, and Bert's got a lot of different things that he's sort of kind of whatever is going on in his head that he's trying to squash. He does it with a lot of different things, whether he works a lot or he tours, and when he tours. Bert will tour
Hard.
in a bus and hit a different place every night. And then it used to be that he would invite people to go out and drink
know.
with him. Yeah. And then
He has this expectation to fulfill as the party animal, and so he is always. I mean, I feel for him always having to be on and be that guy and be shirtless and be down to party.
Well, he was doing a special, and they were handing him shots, and he was like, I can't do shots. I'm doing my special. Right. And they're like, fuck you, drink. And he's like, you're ruining my special.
Oh my!
Like,
yeah.
I'm filming a special here. This is for fucking Netflix, you idiots.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? He was mad.
But there's part of me that goes, maybe he should be fucked up. If he's done all of the preparation for this,
Fucked
he's
up.
been fucked up.
Right.
Why the night you tape your special would you do things differently?
Yeah. I
But-
don't do anything differently when I tape specials.
Do you get depressed?
No.
You never felt that?
I mean, maybe like very low level depression.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
'Cause
But
I feel-
work out like a terrorist.
I know. And what is that about?
I think I'm very primitive. I think my brain, like my genetics, I think I come from a long line of savages. And I think the only way I feel good, really feel good, is to do very violent things.
Yeah.
so
Push yourself.
I run hills. I beat the fuck out of a heavy bag.
but do you enjoy it in the middle of it? You're actually loving
fucking love it.
pushing yourself. Love it. But then, how much do you love it when you're done? I mean, isn't that
love
the
it.
best
Yeah.
feeling? Is
Well,
having.
I enjoy it while I'm doing it, but I get to a place where I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I have to hit that place.
You have to push yourself there.
Yeah, I don't work out to like where it feels pretty good. Like there's none of that.
I want to see you like walking a mall someday, like doing a gentle mall fast-paced
What are
walk.
those people who do those
with,
mall
like, in a
jogs?
sweatsuit with tiny little hand
I
weights.
walk with my dog. We do hills. You know,
Yeah.
I put like a weight vest on. Or
Of
I
course
put
you do.
I have a thing called an Atlas trainer. It's a backpack that I put Olympic weights on the back of it. Like has like you have a plate, a barbell.
Yeah.
The dumbbell plates go over it, and then I screw in this collar, and I have like an Olympic plate on my back. And so I do a hike with those on with the dog.
And do you take days off though?
Yeah,
you
I
have
take days off.
because
To recover.
yeah.
I don't need.
Is that hard to do?
No. I don't think I'm addicted to exercise,
No, you seem to have a healthy
but I'm careful.
lifestyle with everything.
I can get addicted to everything.
Okay, you
Yeah.
can?
Oh yeah, I had a real problem with video games in the past. Real problem,
Oh.
like 8 hours a day, like even more.
How
And-
interesting and irresistible is it that people who make those video games don't even let themselves play
Oh
them?
yeah. How about that World of Warcraft story? How about
Jesus
the one kid who was a
Christ.
football player who lost basically his life fell apart, fell out of school, everything just it can happen.
So you used to be that way.
Yeah, we fucking set up a local area network in the back, and we have all these computers back there
Yeah.
that we set up, and I had to stop playing them because we would be in here and I would be playing 5-6 hours a day after podcasts.
Right.
And it was like for months. And I'm like, stop. And I had to get out of here. I'd be sweaty. My adrenaline would be all
Oh,
fucked
so
up.
recently
Oh,
you've
yeah.
dealt with.
What was it like a year and a half ago? Yeah, about maybe 2 years ago.
What about drinking for you? What about
No.
drugging?
No, never compulsive. No,
Yeah.
Yeah. Drinking, the problem with drinking is it always has a negative physical effect.
Yes.
So that I'm not into things that fuck with my body. So
Right.
when I do something negative, then it fucks with my real addiction, which is the exercise addiction. So if I have an addiction at all for physical addiction,
Right.
it's an exercise addiction. But it's not an addiction like I have to do it. If I don't do it, I freak out. It's like if I don't do it, I don't feel good.
Yes.
Like I like to be calm. I like to feel good. I like to be friendly. I like to feel like even. Mm-hmm. I don't feel even if I don't work out. If I don't work out for 4 or 5 days, I just feel like real tense and like short trigger, like short fuse.
What's something that
like,
sets you off when like your wife can sense it, your kids can sense it if you haven't worked out? Like, what's something that
I don't
you'll...
let myself get to that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I don't let myself get to that. But if
How do you stop yourself? Meditation?
Yeah, I definitely do a lot
Yeah.
of meditation, float tank, sauna. I do a lot of breathing exercises in the sauna. I do a lot of that. But I just know me. I know me, and I don't like me when I don't work out. I don't like that guy.
Yeah, I don't like me if I don't meditate, and
Yeah.
I don't let myself get away with
But
not
it's
doing
also,
that.
I also, since the time I've been a young boy, I've been doing savage things. So from like my whole life, I've been in martial arts. So my body's just like, what are we hitting today? Like, come on, what are we choking? Come on, we gotta go. Like,
Yeah.
and if I don't do that, my body's like, any day now, we're going to war. Like shit is about to happen. It's going down. So your body starts getting, and it's like a battery. Like you're storing up all this energy, and if you don't release it, it's like it's overflowing. It's coming off the top. And so I exercise just to maintain homeostasis, to maintain balance, to maintain like just to have clarity.
Yeah.
So that's
you're
big
just the
for
best
me.
version of yourself if you're pushing yourself.
100%. I am the best.
You
I'm
figured
the
it out.
nicest person I can be when I exercise a lot.
Now,
Like,
what if you go through a time where you don't get a lot of exercise in, you just can't fit
Why
in your
wouldn't
schedule?
I just exercise?
I
What
don't
does that
know.
mean? Fit into my schedule. What does that mean?
You figure out a way. You wake up
that,
earlier.
That is the schedule. Like, there's no like. What do I forget to eat?
yeah,
Do
exactly.
I forget to eat?
No,
I don't
no,
forget to
no.
eat. Do I forget to sleep? I don't forget to sleep. So why the fuck would I forget to exercise?
Yeah, it's just an
I don't think I've
excuse.
ever gone more than a week in my life without exercising.
Yeah.
I mean, doing something. I have to, unless I've been injured, unless I have like a bad injury, like I have surgery or something like that.
What about stand-up addiction?
I think I definitely have a stand-up addiction, and I think that I feel like if I have any depression at all, it's this low-level lull from not doing stand-up for all
Yeah.
these months. It's a lull, and then I realized it when I did the improv in Houston.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, we're back. And I said, like, fuck it, dude. I went with Brian Moses and Tony Hinchcliffe, and we were like, dude, let's fucking just keep doing this. Let's just keep traveling around the country, any place that wants to have us. And then I started thinking, I got really high, and I started thinking, what if I gave it to somebody? What if I got it and I
Right.
gave it to somebody? And then
I
I'm like,
know.
I can't do that. That was the thing that I feared. What I feared the most is giving it to somebody.
Yeah,
or
that's-
giving it to like a guest that gets really sick.
I know. That's the fear.
Yeah,
That's
because
why
some-
outdoor shows only.
Some people that are getting it, it fucks them up for months.
I know people
Months.
don't ever recover. People
Yeah.
still haven't recovered that got it back in March.
Right. They have still have fatigue. They
They
have
can't get out of
lung
bed.
issues.
Yeah. Their
yeah.
hair's falling out. I mean,
Yeah.
these side effects, they could last, who knows, forever. It's really
Yeah.
scary.
It's a weird fucking disease. It's a weird disease. It doesn't really make sense because it's not like any other disease. Like everybody who gets the flu, there's like it's real similar. It's not like one person gets the flu and it's nothing, or another person gets the flu and they can't smell anything for 6
Right.
months. Like they're losing their sense of smell.
I know.
They lose their sense of taste like for months. Like Michael Yo got it real bad where he was hospitalized and
Oh, I didn't know that.
he's still suffering from fatigue like 2 months later. He would get tired walking up a flight of stairs. So you get like lung scarring and all kinds of weird shit happens.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
And you're not scared of getting it?
No.
But what about all that shit? You're just scared of giving that to someone.
Yeah.
You just feel like your body's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be okay.
Do you get the flu?
Yeah, but barely.
Yeah.
If I do so much though. I do like
know.
IV vitamin drips all the time, and I'm on all these vitamins and constantly working out. I mean, I can get sick, but I don't get sick much. And when I get sick, it's like it goes by pretty quick.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm keeping my body healthy. I eat elk meat and all this healthy food, and it's like your body. If your body's in tune and your body's healthy and your immune system is strong, that's the whole point of having a strong immune system. It's supposed to be able to fight things off. And I haven't gotten like a real cold in years because I take care of myself and I do a good job. But if I was working on a television show and I was not getting good sleep, or I was traveling a lot and I was not getting good sleep, and that's when it can hit you. And that's what hit Michael Yo.
Yeah, he was just over working.
I mean, Michael Yo he flew to New York. He was doing morning and did no sleep, right? Flew to New York. Morning radio, television shows, 2 shows a night at Gotham, 2 shows the next night. Same thing, morning radio, TV shows, hustling, doing everything he can. Flies home, no sleep, right? Then drives to Vegas with his family, kids in the car screaming, yelling, bah, bah. And then he hangs out with his wife's family in Vegas and then flies back the same day. So 2 and from, which is 4 hours there, 4 hours back. Then auditions the next day and auditions the day after that. So he's practicing for auditions, getting ready, stressed out. Then it hits him. Boom. Hits him hard.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that used to be the way I lived my life, too.
You know, he gave it to his mom. His mom kicked it in a day.
Oh, really?
One day, yeah. Because she wasn't sick.
rest.
She wasn't worn out. So her immune system did its job.
What about you in sleep? What's your...
I sleep.
You're good at it.
I sleep. Yeah,
You never had to take anything? Or
No.
What do you do? What's your kind of routine to wind down?
I lay
keep
down.
the bed out of... Do you keep the phone out of your bed and like that
yeah,
kind
I
of
don't.
shit?
I mean, occasionally I'll have the phone by the bed. I'll look at it right before I go to bed, but I just conk out.
Are you monitoring your screen time after reading this book?
Yes. Well, I was monitoring my screen time already.
Can you
Yeah.
get sucked into Instagram? I mean, what's your app that you just get?
No, YouTube. I like watching videos.
Yeah.
It's distracting.
Yeah.
I just get bored. And
Is that
I
what you
don't-
do when you work out?
What, YouTube?
Yeah, like when
No.
you're like on a treadmill or something, what are you doing? Are you just like in the moment trying...
Maybe I'll watch
Music?
fights.
Okay.
If I'm watching something, I'll watch fights, or I listen to a book, and I work out. But most of
Oh, yeah, I was wondering, like, picturing you reading a book. Like, do you just, like, sit in a chair and, like, flip through a book? Like, how does Joe Rogan read a book?
the reading I do is audiobooks.
Okay,
So
yeah.
most of it is me not reading.
Yeah. Well, that's reading.
is like scientific articles. I'll read like things that you can't get in audiobooks.
Yeah.
But I do most of the information that I get from books is either driving or in a sauna. I like listening in the sauna. I put AirPods on. You can use AirPods in the sauna even at 180 degrees.
Jesus.
They don't conk out. So
How long are you in there?
30 minutes.
Okay.
But that's another thing. It's like I keep escalating that. It used
So
to be
then
20
when-
minutes, and now I moved it like, oh, don't be a pussy, make it 25 minutes. And then it's like 30, and I'm not satisfied with 30, so now it has to be 31.
Yeah, so you
now
understand my porn thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just don't have the porn thing that way.
Right.
My porn is like, if I watch porn, it's normal. It's people that are horny, they fuck.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh, we probably shouldn't be doing this, like that kind of porn.
Right.
Like stuff like that, but nothing crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. But I get it. Like, I get all of it. Like,
Yeah.
the video game thing I get more than anything because I've had, like, real
Well,
issues
that's
with
nice
video
to hear
games.
that even recently you've struggled with that because you
Oh, yeah.
seem to be someone who doesn't have to deal with
But it's
that shit
all
anymore, but
because
can-
I'm calculated about it. That's all it is.
And
it's
as
like
soon
an
as you
alcoholic.
see it
Yes.
starting to affect your
yeah.
well-being,
I went cold turkey with
you
the video
quit it.
games.
You
Yeah.
can't.
Quit. And then
Yeah,
we
that's what I'm
played
doing.
again when we had the guys who make Doom. We had them come in here and we played for a day. And even that day, I was like, I got out of here all shaky. I was like, I can't do that again. I don't do that again.
And then do you feel like you're white knuckling it? Do you
Oh,
feel like,
yeah.
God damn
Well,
it, I'm missing out? But you have just
No.
amazing discipline.
Well, the video games are so addictive because they're
Right.
so immersive. And the one we're playing is Quake Champions. So you put these headphones on, like if Jamie was playing with me, if he was over here, I could hear him over here. I could hear him walking. And the graphics are so incredible. And it's a three-dimensional game, right? So
Yeah.
you're running down these hallways and people are shooting rockets at you and you're jumping up off these things and you're running through the water and people are chasing you.
That's so fun.
It's exciting.
That's as good as going on a hike.
No.
Why?
Because first of all, because you could do it all
You're
day.
no D. No
and
vitamin D.
No vitamin D. You're doing it all day, Right, you can
Yeah,
play
it
for
doesn't
hours and
stop.
hours and hours, and
Yeah.
you get exhausted afterwards, and it becomes a compulsion. Like you leave here, you're driving, you think about, oh, he should have shot me then. I should have
Yes.
got him, and that time I fucked up. I shouldn't have gone into the lava. I should have gone that way.
Whoa.
Like, you have all these crazy thoughts in your head about the game, and it's like, they're really fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. Is they're really good, but for me at least, they waste too much time and I get too sucked in, and then it becomes unhealthy
Right.
because it becomes like you can only exercise so much, especially like the way I'm doing it.
Yeah, tell us how much that is, because you definitely hit.
Like an hour and
summer.
a half a day.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
No more
Yeah.
than that. These people that are at the gym for 4 hours at a time, I'm sorry, that's an addiction.
Maybe,
at that
but
point.
you
Unless you're
also-
training for something.
How are you doing it? Like you can't hit the bag for 4 hours.
Right. I guess
You get-
people are kind of like
you gotta
moseying about.
I'm doing like I do rounds, like so I'll set the timer for 3 minutes. It's like a timer. It's like ding 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 ding. It goes off and it lets you know every 30 seconds. So I have this ringside timer and it says an interval timer. So every 30 seconds it gives you a bing. It gives you a
like
bing.
a Curves gym.
Right, so sort of. So in 30 seconds, you're sprinting for 30 seconds, and then you're doing it at a slower pace for the next 30 seconds, and then you're sprinting again. And there's a red light. There's a red light, and then there's a yellow light. And it's a red light is when it's time to stop. The yellow light is when you're calm, and then a blue light is go. So it has these 3 lights.
Right.
So go means sprint, yellow means coast, red means stop. And so it's like this
Very
interval thing.
regimented. You know exactly
Yes.
when you're done.
So when I'm doing especially like rounds on the bag, you can only do it so much because your body breaks down.
Right.
Because during the blue time, it's just chaos. It's 30 seconds of just assault. Like you can't keep that up.
Yeah.
It's just too crazy. It's just wow, 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 wow. And then when it's over, and then the next 30 seconds, it's calmer. It's like you're just sort of like getting your heart rate down and just going through the techniques and moving. And then the blue light comes on again, ding, and it's like ah. So you can only do it for so long.
Right.
Yeah. But when it's over, I'm like, chirp, 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 birds and love, and everybody's my friend.
Yeah, I
And
feel
then I'm
good that way
calm.
after a hard workout too. I mean, you
Yes.
need it.
You get the endorphin rush, but you also you beat the demons down. That's the thing, is all the aggression just goes out of me, like all the pent up stress. And I just think that my body's conditioned to do this. It's been doing it for so long that if I don't do it, it just like goes, when is it coming? When's it coming?
Yeah.
When's the war? When's the chaos?
And-
When's it coming?
You need to. Do you cry ever?
I cry for happy things.
Yeah.
Most of the time,
That's
I cry when I'm
nice.
happy for
Oh, that's
people.
good.
But I cry if I think about, like people that I miss and,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That's good.
I definitely cry. Yeah. Well, I cry a lot for like things that make me happy. That's
Really?
yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah, I cry for people. I cry when I'm happy for people. But yeah, I cry.
I feel that.
I'm not
From
scared
you.
of emotions.
Yeah,
I
that's
understand.
nice.
Yeah. I'm scared of weakness. I don't like weakness, but I don't think crying is weakness. I think
No.
it's weak to not want to cry. I think
Yes.
it's weak to not want to embrace the full spectrum of life. And life is filled with beautiful things and amazing things, and it's also filled with horrible things. Like they're all there. And to deny that, I think, is to deny reality. It is, and that is to be delusional. I'm afraid of being delusional more than I'm afraid of crying.
I think it's really important that you just said that you cry and you think it's important. Because I think so many people that listen to you do not. So many men don't cry, Joe. You know that.
They do, I think. They
I
just
don't think
want
they do.
people to know.
Well, maybe they don't, but I just don't think they'll allow themselves to. And I put myself in that category. Like it's really hard for me to cry. Like I have to be talking to someone about I have to have it kind of mirrored back to me, my emotions, so that I have license to cry. But it's not something that comes naturally to people. But I think it's important to do.
I cried on the podcast just real recently.
Really?
Yeah, there was a guy on Josh Dubin he's a lawyer, and they were talking about the Innocence Project. He works with the Innocence Project, and they got this poor man who was an immigrant. I believe he's from Guatemala, who was unjustly accused of murder, and they got him out, and they were just going through the whole story about how the prosecutors are trying to keep him in jail even though he knew he was innocent, and they finally got him released, and they're talking about this thing, and I just started crying.
Yeah.
This poor guy is thinking about this guy who like makes his way to America to try to do better for himself, and it winds up getting caught up in this fake murder accusation. And yeah, I cried about that. I
think men need to cry more, and
is that another one of your folders?
Yeah.
Like men crying and then.
I'm seriously turned on by men crying. I love it. Can I really put that out there? The one time my ex-boyfriend cried in front of me.
You got hot.
I was blowing him while he was like still, like sniffling, like still. His tears were like hitting me on the head. I'm not joking you. I felt so inappropriate doing it, but I was like, this is so hot that you are opening up and you are emoting, and that I don't have to deal with these feelings in another way, which is you being mad at me or you like bottling up your anger. I mean, these feelings have to come out somewhere. It just was so erotic to me to see a guy like so sensitive.
I think it's very weak of people to be afraid of feelings.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with feelings, but there is
feelings
something.
Can't kill you.
There's something wrong with being a bitch, though. Like there's a difference. This is what's important. There's something wrong with being weak. There's something wrong with like shirking your responsibility or not doing the things that you know you're supposed to do because you want to cry and wallow away all your day and feel sorry for yourself. Like I do not support people feeling sorry for themselves because there's a perspective. Particularly with men. There's a perspective. You can change your perspective. You can just take action and do things. There's nothing wrong with feeling sad. There's nothing wrong with feeling emotional. But there is something wrong with feeling sorry for yourself. And there's a lot of men who feel sorry for yourself for no fucking reason.
Really? But I think feeling sorry for yourself is
I got this. I want my chance to prove I am the champion. I will be waiting for Adesanya, skinny claw Adesanya. I got this overly inflated balloon animal. This heavy-ass Ricky Martin wannabe. He better not step in there because this is my octagon.
Adesanya is nothing. He's nothing. He's nothing. I will slap his face and he will cry like a baby. I will destroy him.
Trust me, when I'm done with him, he'll really look like Ricky Martin. Botched.
Costa versus Adesanya will be a ridiculous fight. I guarantee it. I absolutely positively guarantee it. Paulo Costa will move forward. He's going to throw big shots. He will not stop punching. And Israel Adesanya is going to have to fight him.
This is a force to be reckoned with. 13 up, 0 down.
The pace and pressure at which Costa fights is going to give anybody problems.
He's an
important.
Why?
Because that allows you to feel those feelings, to say, you know what, I had a shitty childhood, or I had a shitty mom, and I got a fucked up deal. That guy from Guatemala that came here, like he should feel sorry for himself. His life got fucked.
I don't know if he should feel sorry. for himself. I definitely think he should feel the pain of what happened to him. I mean, there's no way he can't. And I definitely think that, you know, he should feel happy that he's been released and that these wonderful people worked really hard to get him out. And then I also think he should feel some anger that these motherfuckers wanted to keep him in jail when they knew he was innocent. I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with all those things. But to just be paralyzed by that and not do anything and then use it as an excuse to never live your life, fuck that. That's the difference. And that is a choice. And that is also something that you learn as a man. There's people that you can count on, and there's people that are going to fall apart. And there's a difference. There's moments in your life where you can be dwarfed by that moment, or you can rise to the occasion.
Okay.
And who you are forever is dependent upon how you react to those moments. And you could just decide, I can't, everything's just too hard, and you just be a bitch. Or you can go, yeah, this is hard, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna get through this, and then you learn, oh, I could do it. Oh, I could move forward. And the people that learn that, they need to tell other people that they learned that. And then other people can learn it as well. It's a reaction to pain, a reaction to bad feelings, but to take action, to be a person who actually recognizes that these feelings are normal, but you still have to keep going. You still have to move on with your life. That's the difference. Because
that makes sense.
There's too many people that just use whatever happens in their life as an excuse for why they're a failure. Or use it as an excuse for why, you know, other people do well. Well, I can't because this happened when I was young. Just fucking get up and go. Just go.
I think you can do that after you acknowledge, like, you can let yourself feel sorry for yourself a little bit. Don't sit in that too long. But if you always, because I think I'm just speaking more to myself, because I've had to actually seek out therapists who teach me how to feel sorry for myself, because so much of me is like, what are you complaining about? Look at your life. Come on. You don't have anything to cry about. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't do that. And then I never get to feel sad. I need to actually go there.
How do therapists teach you that?
They go, my God, that sounds really hard. And I go, well, people have it worse. It's fine. No, let's go back. You were scared then. You didn't get the support you needed. That's not fair. That sucks that happened to you. Will you feel that? Will you feel that you needed more support back then when you didn't get it and you were scared and you didn't know any different because you were a little girl? Like, they take me back there and they go, feel sorry for her. Feel sad for that girl. And I have to go back and kind of let myself feel sorry for myself.
And is there a relief in doing that?
Yeah. I think it allows me to stop pushing all my feelings down and being like, I gotta be brave. I can't complain because what are you crying about? You have a roof over your head. You have parents who love you.
But once they do that, is there a build up afterwards, like a build back up, where they're like, okay, now that you've acknowledged the fact that you're validated, or you have valid feelings, and that there's a reason why you felt fucked over, there's a reason why you felt abandoned. Now that you've, like, let's look on positive aspects of Nikki Glaser. Let's look at life. Let's have some perspective. Do they do that?
We haven't gotten there yet because we haven't covered all the trauma. That's
the worry. My worry is that there's merchants, that there's something very valuable in selling pity. There's something very valuable in dwelling on these moments of your life that have been bad. And I think there's something in what you're saying that is valid before you were dealing with this, where you're saying, look at your life. Like, you've got it better than a lot of people. What are you complaining about? Like, not that you should look at it that way, but that there are positive and negative ways to look at things. The thing about having a bad childhood and having bad childhood experiences is that it makes you a more interesting and resilient person. And that is undeniable. And that, I think, is something that it's very difficult for people to come to grips with. When they look at their childhood and they look at bad aspects of their life, they want to dwell on it. I'm like, okay, get that out of your system. Then I want you to look at it this way. That has given you a depth that most people don't possess.
Yeah.
And that's why you're interesting.
I know.
Everyone that I know who's interesting has had some fucked up childhood. And as a parent, it's weird because I want to protect my children from adversity. But yet, all of my favorite people have come from
They're
adversity.
so fucked up. I
It's
know. I've come
very
from,
complicated.
and that's gotta feel because you want to make the best. You
Yeah.
want your kids to be funny. You want them. Yeah, that's usually the case. It's like whenever I see someone who's just like, sometimes you meet someone who's like stunning, but they're also funny, and you're like, what?
How?
And then you're like, Like, oh, you were molested. Okay,
Yeah.
now that makes sense.
Exactly.
You had to go through something fucking
Yes.
awful to
Yes.
develop a personality. So you're
Yeah.
right. I mean, I'm so grateful for those times when I was little and scared and confused and felt abandoned and all of these things. And I had great parents who did. They couldn't have done better. But I was just a sensitive child who needed a little bit more. But I don't think it's serving me anymore to just suck it up and say, what are you so sorry about? What are you so sad about? You shouldn't be so sad. Because I really struggle with that. That's why I keep asking, like, are you depressed, Joe? Do you know anyone? I need to find people who are depressed that...
My life is so good, though.
Yeah.
The problem is, if I was depressed, it would be, like, really disheartening for everybody
But that's...
that has a life that's not as fortunate.
Right, but I think my depression is chemical. I
think so,
think
too.
it's just like my brain was.
Yeah.
I was born that way. There's nothing my parents could have done differently to make me not suffer with depression, and that I just have to. I have to feel sad. Like, oh, that sucks that I have a brain that tells me to kill myself once a quarter, and that I have to have those thoughts, and I think those thoughts are right, and I know that I'm never going to act on those thoughts, but. That sucks that I even have to have them.
Is there a correlation, though, between how well your life is going, like when your life is going great, and how good you feel?
No.
No. So
that's
that's
the best my life has gone is some of the worst times.
That's where there's a real solid argument for the chemical imbalance, right? Because there's some people that I know that have had depression, but they've only had it when their life was in the shitter. Like when a girl left them, or when they lost a job, or things started going, then they got depression. And I'm always like, what is the difference between depression and not doing well so you feel bad?
Yes.
There's a difference.
Yeah, I think so.
The chemical depression that you're discussing, that's the real shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the real mental, like there's like a clogged pipe or something.
Yeah.
It's not going through.
And it doesn't, and you look at your life and you look at everything that's going on, and it doesn't make sense why you feel so sad, or why you feel like such a fraud, or why you feel like you should kill yourself. I mean, like,
right.
What?
What is that? Right.
I don't know. And the thoughts are so, they're not even like, I sit down and I go, I want to feel sad and like think of ways to kill myself. It's like, I'll just be sitting there and I'll be like, kill yourself, like whisper. Like, I don't hear.
It's our ball, ain't it? It's our ball. Hey, it's our ball. It's our ball. James just laid the ball up down there. It's our ball. It ain't our ball. It ain't our ball. It ain't our ball. It's our ball, ain't it? It's our ball. Hey, it's our ball. It's our ball. James is.
Hey, baby, won't you meet me by the pin? Too early, baby, later you can show me things. You know what it is whenever I visit.
Your voices, but they're not thoughts I want to have.
The thought is
I don't
just
like to wallow in it.
end
It really, yeah. I mean, I compare it to getting a cold. Like I feel it coming on. I'm like, oh shit, there's a thought, and I don't know what to do.
Do you get these right when you close your laptop after kink.com?
Usually that's when I'm feeling pretty good. That's when I'm feeling the best, is after I've done that. I don't have that depression that people have of like
regret.
Being. I mean, I'm disgusted about talking about all these things that I'm into and honestly, I only masturbate once every 2 weeks. So this isn't like an addiction for me. It's just.
But when it comes on, like a freight train.
Yeah, when I open my laptop.
It's time to go.
Going into
war.
Anal graduate 3. Like, it just women who are going through some kind of master's course.
Tom Segura sent me a video the other day. I'll show it to you if you like. But I don't remember what I sent him. But he sent me a video of this young lady.
Probably were just saying, hey,
laying
how
on
are
her
you?
back, and she's just punching herself in the vagina.
What?
And it just go. Okay, you need to see. and it's just going. It's
Will you please
just
show me?
going in, and I'm like, what in the hell?
I
How
have
is
learned
that?
so much about the plasticity of vaginas and assholes.
It's crazy.
From Kink.com.
It's crazy. It doesn't seem like it should be real.
A lot can go on.
Yeah.
A lot can fit up there that you just can't even believe. There's just something so like, oh my God. Whoa!
Yeah, that's
Oh
what
my
I'm saying.
God, it looks like she's playing that Price is Right game where you punch through.
She just keeps going in there.
Oh my God, she's so angry, her face. Oh my God!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
No,
stop
no,
this
no,
quickly.
no, No.
I know. She keeps doing it for a long time too. By the way, it's a long video.
Yeah.
Tom, if you ever need like something fucked up to look at, holler at Tom.
Okay.
Tom Segura.
Yeah, Tom and Christina
he's
are
got
into
his
some
fucking,
weird shit.
He's got his finger on the pulse
Oh yeah.
of all that's
Did you see the
wrong.
one of like the balls being shit out of the ass?
Yes.
That was kind of weirdly beautiful.
Well, very unusual.
Yeah.
First of all, to have balls that will make it all the way to your ass is weird. And then not just make it all the way to your ass, but go inside, like all the tucked inside, like he's laying eggs.
The stuff he puts on Twitter.
And filmed it?
Yeah,
and filmed
not
it.
the first time
Had
he
to
did
set
it.
up a camera.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's practicing.
That girl that was just violently fisting herself had to like prop up her camera across the room and then go scoot back.
Or somebody
and,
else is filming it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that
but
could
the
be.
guy with the
why
the
wouldn't he be
balls up
doing
his
it?
ass, apparently he lets guys fuck him in the ass with his balls in his ass, and his favorite thing is fucking guys while he has his own balls in his ass. Yeah, okay.
Okay, like
Hey, listen, you can't judge.
certainly can't. It makes me feel less alone that there are people out there that are into weirder stuff than I am.
There's people into weird shit. That's the weirdest thing about human sexuality is the spectrum of it. Like how weird. Like one thing that you would say to another person would turn them on. Another person would never call you again. Like you
Yep.
fucking freak.
Yep.
They'd run away from you.
I know, and
And
that's
you
why
don't know.
so much of stuff on kink.com, I'm just like, get off of her feet. I don't need you to be doing that. Why is she? That hurts her nipples. Take those off her nipples. Like that, all the extra stuff. I just want very. I wish I could I need to just produce my own porn, I think.
Maybe that's your future.
Possibly. I
Listen-
mean, I don't really want to be in it, but I would like to get behind the camera and make the videos that I'm craving.
Isn't the thing about porn though is that like the girls never really make the money. It's always the producer and the reason why people are tuning in is for the girl.
Yeah.
But the girl's never the one who's getting rich. It's always the people behind. But I don't know if anybody's getting rich anymore. I mean, maybe I guess they must be. They must be making some money.
OnlyFans, yeah.
Yeah, but that goes to the girls, right?
Right.
Mostly.
Yeah.
But when I was when I first bought not the house I'm living in now, but another house in the past, I had a neighbor who was balling out of control. He always had these like really nice Mercedes Benz parked in his driveway and Porsches and shit. And he always was wearing like big fat watches and shit. And he was a porn producer. And he was laughing around about how much money he made from porn. But then the internet came along, and it was so quick. It was so quick where the internet killed his business because this is we're talking about. I guess it was like the 90s, the early 2000s. He was making all this money, and it was DVD sales.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, the internet came along, and online porn and bandwidth just kicked up to the point where you could actually stream it. And they foreclosed in his house. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget, like, finding out that guy was losing his house. And I was like, wow, because that guy was always, like, so flashy. Like, everything was, like, gold chains, and he had a fucking silver tooth, and he was doing coke all the time, and he always had girls over his place. He was just making so much money.
Yep.
And it was from selling porn. But it was not, the girls weren't making that money.
No.
There's, like... I mean, there's been a few girls, I'm sure, that have made a lot of money in porn, but it's real rare.
It is rare. There's it's not the girls that I'm seeing on kink.com. In fact, there's a great documentary on Netflix called Hot Girls Wanted that talks about
Oh, I heard about that. I haven't
Dude,
seen
it's so upsetting. These girls, they find these girls, they post ads on Craigslist, and they find girls that are fresh out of high school that just want to get out of their small town, and they're promised to make $1,000 a day. You know, if you do like 6 shoots, maybe, and they burn out within like 4 months, and they shoot all these videos that are up forever, and then they get really sick. They get over too much use down there, and they have to go to the doctor, and they have different abrasions and certain things, and that's how they get. And they're doing really fetishy type stuff. Where there's one girl that is in it that has to do like a brutal session, which Kink.com has a lot of brutal videos, which I hate that word in porn because that's usually like you just see girls that you're like, oh, she could not have left that shoot feeling empowered about herself, no matter what. I mean, it's just so sad what they say and do to these girls. And in that movie, there was one girl that was like, yeah, I went to a brutal session today, and I had to, and you could just see like the life lost in her eyes. And these girls just last. A year is a really long time for them to last, and they think it's gonna be like this glamorous life. I mean, they're so young, but that's.
Well, when you're 18 years old, you're basically a kid.
Yeah.
You're not really, I mean, you're an adult only on paper and in size, you know, but you're a kid. Like, your mind's not formed yet. And your ideas of what's okay and what's not okay, they're not
balanced.
Pay
for your plane ticket to go to Miami and live in this house with a bunch of other porn stars. And it's like this shitty fucking apartment with the producer who lives with you, and you're taking care of his dog. I mean, that documentary is really incredible and makes you second guess where your porn comes from. That's why I got to pay for mine.
But it's also the way people look at you forever. Like, if you have a sexual relationship with a person and someone does crazy shit to you, that's just what you wanted, and you both did it, and that's okay. Like, you know, and people will laugh, but they don't have to see it all the time, right? The thing about porn with a woman is, if a woman does like some crazy gangbangs or something like that, that's always going to be there. And some guy is, you know, like, hey, that girl that you're going to marry, check out this link. And someone sends you this link, and you go, oh my God. And you see her as if she's right there right now doing this.
I know.
You don't see her as if there's a person who made a mistake when she was 18 and did this thing, but now she's 30 and you love her. No, you still, she's broken and damaged.
You can get over that.
Hopefully.
But a lot of people aren't strong enough.
A lot of people can't. Yeah.
To do that.
A lot of people, they won't be able to rationalize or objectively look at this and go, listen, she made some mistakes. Some people went to jail for shoplifting, and then, you know, they realize you shouldn't steal, and then, you know, they get out and then they live a normal life. No one goes, oh yeah, but look, you're a shoplifter forever.
Right. Although, you know, I relate to some of these porn actresses just in the sense that I've said things and done things on stage, or like that I'm like, oh no, that's always going to haunt. I mean, like, even today, I mean, someone's going to, my husband someday might watch this and be like, look what you were into and what you admitted.
Yeah, but you are a grown woman. You're not a child. And,
right.
And a man but a man who's into that, like, who's into you, would go, she's just being honest.
I'm just being honest.
Yes.
I think that's what I just try to be, and I
that's
hope
empowered. I mean, it's kind of fucked up to be empowered that way, because, you know what I mean? Because, like, people are like, wait a minute, you're empowered by watching girls get gang raped and gagged and fucking pissed on and stuff? I made that part out. Yeah, I know. Sorry. I threw that
banged.
In there. Sorry about that.
No. But I'll get there.
Yeah, but you're a grown woman. You can find a man who recognizes and respects you for what weird shit you're into as a grown woman. But when you're 18 years old, you're not even you're not a grown up.
I know.
You're just not. You know, you're a person who's like legally responsible for yourself because you're an adult. It's fucking weird. It's a weird thing, because even just regular porn, just regular sex, it's strange that we all want to have sex, but no one wants to see the person that they have sex with having sex with someone else on film.
I know.
Like,
even though you know that they have had sex before.
You're like, blah, 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 I can't hear you.
But no. Yeah.
La, 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 la.
It would be interesting to hear, I mean, how boyfriends of people who have done porn. I mean, I think some guys can just handle it and they can be okay with it.
Some guys like it.
I like when I like hearing about if my ex-boyfriend, not porn, but I would, if he made like sex tapes with other girlfriends.
You'd want to watch them?
I would, yes. Yeah, I love it.
We got to put these in a bank vault so we don't lose them.
I would watch them all the time. I would want to hear about them all the time. I'm really into that. I really love hearing about ex-girlfriends or even, you know, I hate to even say this because it just sounds ridiculous, but and maybe I'm not into it anymore, but when the last time I had a boyfriend years and years ago, I wanted him to go have sex with other girls and like tell me about it.
Really?
Yeah. And Dr. Drew has told me that there's something wrong with me, that's what I like. Like that's not a
There's something wrong with Dr. Drew. How about that?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
He's not perfect.
He's not.
No. But I like that.
What did he say was wrong with you?
He said that Nikki, he made me look him in the eyes and tell him I'm enough.
Nikki.
You are enough, Nikki. Look at me. You are enough. You are enough. And it's like
down,
I don't
bro.
want my boyfriend to bang someone else because I don't think that I can be enough. It's because
You think it's hot?
I just think it's hot. And I don't feel threatened by it. I really don't, because most of the time if you let your boyfriend bang someone else, they don't really want to. It's like almost like giving them the license takes away the fun of cheating. So it's kind of hard to find guys that are into this. And I don't always want this.
Not now. Listen to this podcast. They're going to come floating into your DMs.
I've been saying this for years and no one's hit me up. But the guys actually don't like this because they want their women to only want them. And it's not that I don't want them. I'm very turned on by guys who other girls want to fuck. Like I like having a guy being like, he's mine and you can't have him if you want. Like I get him and I know you want to fuck him, but you can't. But actually you can. And he's going to tell me about it later. And you're going to think that you're going to like steal him from me, but you're not. We're going to talk about you behind your back later on. And I want her to have a really good time.
Dr. Drew's right now just screaming, taking his headphones off. Nikki, you're enough.
You are enough. I know I'm enough, but how did you guys resolve the conversation? Well, he was the one that told me that I need to go see a therapist that like helps me feel my feelings. I like found my therapist because Dr. Drew was like, you need to go to an emotionally focused therapist because you don't feel your feelings and you need to find someone who like really mimics your feelings back to you. Mimics. Yeah, because I don't really let myself get sad or get mad, and I'm always running from one thing to the next because I don't like to feel at all. Interesting. Yeah. But he just said that that compulsion to have, but it's always been there. Like whenever I'm with a guy, I want to hear about like, when was the last time you hooked up? What happened? What'd you do? I want to know all those things. And they think it's a trap. They're like, oh, you're gonna get jealous and this is gonna lead to like fights later on. But I want to like hear about it and talk about it. And I don't know. It really does it for me. It's a weird thing. And he rejects that. Yeah, he thinks that it means that I have low self-esteem, which I'm not denying. I do. But that's not what it is. I don't think that's where. I mean, maybe that's where it comes from, but it does. I don't think it is. I think it's a sexual kink. Yeah, it's not. I'm not a cuck. I'm not in the corner like, oh, you're fucking my boyfriend, like sad about like. Can a girl be a cuck? Yeah. I didn't know a girl could be a cuck. I'm sure they could. I mean, it makes sense. Well, if you're just like, I want to stop fucking my boyfriend, like I can see that. But no, I'm like in the corner, like, do it. And I don't even want to be involved. I'm just like, ha ha, I love it. She's getting it. Wow. And like, I'm not. I don't know why I'm not jealous. First of all, I've been fucked by enough guys who haven't wanted to be with me afterwards. So I don't think that my boyfriend's gonna fuck someone and be like, I need to marry her. If anything, he's gonna be like, I need to get away from this chick. Like, it'll make him not want to fuck her anymore. Yeah. that usually does it. Based on my experience, when you have sex with a guy, he doesn't really want to hang out with you afterwards.
That is hilarious. So the way to keep your man is to let him fuck other girls. That way he won't want to be with them anymore.
Yes, and if he does want to be with them, go be with them. Why? I don't want to keep you from that. But I have a lot of self-esteem in terms of, like, I'm a cool chick. I feel like, yeah, I'm a lot, as you said on the last podcast, and I've never gotten them out of my head.
No.
I am a lot, and that's a good thing.
That bothered you when I said you're a lot?
It didn't bother me, but I felt seen,
a little bit of a
Joe
pause
Rogan.
there.
I felt seen. I just felt like I felt like, wow, I don't know. I didn't know what to think of you before we have hung out. And we really only hung out on the podcast, which this is like a real hang. I mean, this is no different than if we were alone together and just hanging out as comics. But yeah, I just felt like, my God, you showed me a part of myself that I was maybe denying, because I just picture myself like, I'm such a cool chick. I'm so fun and easy. Like, why does anyone like me? And then you go, well, you're a lot. And it was just like, oh, fuck. Like, maybe I'm not the total package that I think I am, and that's okay. I'm a lot.
A lot is not bad. It's not.
Okay.
No, it's not. When I say you're a lot, it's like, whoa, there's a lot going on there. But it's not. It's not bad.
But am I enough?
Are you enough? Look at me. Say you're enough. Nikki, you're enough.
You make me look at you and say you're a lot.
Say
you're a lot.
Nikki,
I'm a lot, Joe.
Say you're a lot.
I'm a lot.
You know you're a lot.
I didn't
You've
know.
said you're a lot the whole podcast.
Because, well, now I know I'm a lot.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know until I said it?
I had no idea.
Jesus.
I thought I was kind of easygoing and chill, but I am totally not, and I'm a lot. I am chill. I'm really fun. And I let my boyfriend bang other people, but or I would be into discussing that happening. But, yeah, I'm a lot, and that's okay.
It's okay.
That's
for
okay.
sure. Yeah, you're fun.
Yeah.
You're hilarious.
I can be really fun.
I think that's also, it has to be a part of why you're such a good comic.
Thanks,
it has
Joe.
to be. It has to be. Those two things have to be connected.
Yes.
It's all that madness comes out in the creativity, and it comes out in your writing, and it comes out in your performance. That's part of why it's so good.
Thanks, man.
But you have to know that, right?
I didn't.
Anybody who does what we do is crazy.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. We're all crazy. It's just, my crazy is different than Doug Stanhope's crazy, which is different than, you just keep going down the line. Everybody's got their own, Ali Wong's got her own crazy. Everyone's got their own crazy.
Yeah. Insecurity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for you, when it comes together, it makes great comedy.
Yeah, I'm intense. Yes, and it does. I'm really intense.
You are.
I am.
You are.
And I'm already going over things I've said here, and I'm like, I am never gonna find a fucking husband. But you're
will.
right.
Not true.
I will.
100%.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah.
Just because this is a guy right now listening to this
and
going,
now I'm like,
I need to find her.
Yes, I'm gonna get hit up a lot on this thing.
I knew she was out there.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be the person I end up with will take me as I am. I can't
100%.
I can't change for anyone anymore. I've been doing that too much. But yeah, will I get the Tonight Show after this interview? That's
good. You don't want it.
I mean,
fuck would you want to do with that thing?
I mean, I would like to host a late night talk show someday.
Well,
but
if
will
you
they?
did,
will
you should be doing it on the internet. No one should ever try to censor you. No way.
Right.
What makes you fun and interesting and special is you. All of you. All of you that you showed here. Not some weird Procter & Gamble version of you that's going to sell tampons on some late night bullshit show. The fuck out of here with that. That would be a waste of you. If you had to do the Ellen DeGeneres show, it would be a fucking waste of you.
Right.
Like if they get rid of Ellen because she's so mean and they bring in Nikki Glazer and you have to pretend you give a fuck about dancing for all these people.
I like dancing.
I bet you do,
and
but you'd also like to talk about getting gagged and
I know, but I could.
And
they'll never give me that show because I've admitted these things.
But that is what you should talk about.
I know, but I could be more than those things. I could just save things. I could save that for here.
No, you are all those things. You can do other things here. here as well.
Right.
Not, I mean here as in the internet.
Yes, yes.
You can do other things. You could talk about every.
To me, it's at some point when I hit 60, I think, and I'm trying to make this new guild. It's something weird, bro, because you can't make them GM like this. You can only promote them to, like, yeah. Let me just look it up. How to pass GM.
Fresh meat.
G leader. Okay. G leader. All right. So we are guildless. Oh, we need to go make the new guild. Guildmaster.
What are you looking for?
How do I form a guild? Purchase a guild charter. Let's see.
Strength.
There was already a guild named that. Yikes. Well, we might have to come up with a new name, guys, for the Horde side. Somebody bought the charter already. Elite HC? You made it already, Griggs? The charter? You have the charter for it? Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Alliance and the Horde. Okay. HC Immortal? The thing is, it's not only 60s. It's going to be 25 plus, right? Yeah, we can try.
Blood and thunder. Go with honor.
It's kind of a lame name, though. But we can always change the name later. I just gotta get this done.
Forth to victory.
Yeah, I mean, we can change it in the later. It's not the most amazing name, but we can change it later. We just need to get something done. The guilds are already completely at capacity.
Strength and honor.
Okay. If anybody is on the Horde side, on Bloodsail, they can help sign this charter. I would sincerely appreciate it. This guy's 28 plus, perfect, and he's kneeling here. Oh, God. Request signature. Can sign charter. Oh yeah, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, I'll be in front of the bank if anybody in the guild on Bloodsail can come through. What level was the gnome? Gnome is 25 at the moment. We're gonna hop back over to him in a second. I'm just trying to get this guild.
Well met. Be careful.
Guild setup here. Well, you think seasonal vanilla is going to be a thing? Medium pop now, yeah. I know some of you guys are playing hardcore on Bloodsail, man. If you're on Horde, could use some signatures real quick. What about this guy? On my way, I gotta go quick though. Alright, cool, man. Thanks, Winky. See you in a second. Waiting for Zep and Tears Fall. No problem, no problem. Fury at this level is such a handicap. Think so? It's been pretty good so far. Still kicking. Level 60 hardcore though, boys. Thrashblade and Hanzo sword. This is my guy. Feels good, man. Crossed that finish line and got the GM verification today, dude. You love to see it. All right, we got more of the boys here. Quest signature. Quest signature. There's Winky, level 52, getting closer, man. To see you, Winky. Need 4 more. Getting close. Thank you guys so much for assigning this. Hopefully they should alleviate some of the Why starting a new guild? No, it's just that we're growing so fast in the guilds that we're the 1,000 cap is not going to be enough, like not even close. So we need to fragment the guild a little bit. So we're breaking it up into 1 to 24 in one guild, and then the next guild is 25 plus. So that way, you know, a lot of the people who are just new to it, they're trying to find the groups for the early dungeons. They're not sure if they like hardcore, or they're just new to the challenge. They have one guild. And then the people who are a little bit deeper into the journey are in another one as well. So that'll just give us a 2K guild cap instead of a 1K guild cap, effectively. Deadmines goes up to 26. Yikes. Does it really? Alright, so we might have to make the other one for 26. For 26 or 27 even. But it's okay. Well, it's a simple adjustment. We'll get through it. Okay, 2 more to go. Almost there. What's the move now that you're rogue at 60? I'm leveling a warrior right now. I just popped on this guy to try and get the horde guild stabilized because they're at cap as well. They're at 1K and they keep trying to purge people, but it keeps growing too fast. The blessed signature. I think we made the damn guild, boys. Turn it in and we're good. Alright. Did your run get verified? It did. Today I got a GM ticket back. I closed out the ticket already, but I got the screenshot and put it in the Discord. So I'm pretty stoked about that. It took, you know, 5-6 days, but it's no problem. Waiting, that's no problem.
What do you need? For the horde. What can I help you with? Go with honor.
Turn it in, right? How do I form a guild? Register. There we go. There it is. Alright, the shit show is about to start. If you are 25 plus in the guild, whisper me, I'll give you an invite. Okay, does anybody know in the guild, guys, are you able to invite is anybody able to invite in a guild, like standard default guild? If you invite somebody who's just a regular member, can they invite others? Because last time we had that issue where we started the guild and only one person could invite, and it was like a major pain point. Forgive me, guys. I'm just blasting out a bunch of invites. All right. So if we can confirm that everybody can invite, then I can just log out. You have to set permissions. Oh god. Guild control. Set guild rank member. Yo, I honestly didn't even know it had all this shit. It's kind of cool. So was this in the original 2004 game too? You could do all this? Invite member. Initiate. Invite member. Sick, dude. How do I save it, though? They handled this back in 2004, huh? I think we're good. Alright, we are set. Both Alliance and Horde Guild. New guilds formed for 25 and, yeah, for the new. That's awesome. Did we lose everybody? Anybody still here on the stream? Sorry about that. Okay, we're back. Hey, Courtney, good to see you. The gnome's still kicking. We're 25 right now. We're heading to the wetlands. They could not verify no AH Ishii. They said that they don't have that information or something. So I asked in my ticket, I said, you know, could you verify no trades and auction house? They couldn't verify that aspect, but they could verify the death. So make a tabard. Yeah, I'll do that a little bit later. I just want to get it going. All right, that's a massive weight off our shoulders. We're moving one step in the right direction, boys. Like this is a big moment because that was a pain point for the past week for the community. We're just 1K people every day, just purging people nonstop. Such a headache. We got 2 guilds now on each side. Yes, there is physics. I'm happy to say on Alliance and Horde. Not the most unbelievable names ever, but fine. You'll need to have someone re-change the victory or death guild message to the correct guild name. Yeah, you're right. Level 1 GM can change that. Yeah, Crix, if you're online, man, could you change it to Elite HC? My bad. Or, yeah, you should be able to, your GM, right? Alright, so we're here in Stormwind. We're going to Wetlands. I'll do all my engineering stuff off stream. So I'm just going to deposit the stuff off at the bank and we'll go. Should probably purge people off for like 1 month anyway. Probably, yeah, because we're still gonna outgrow the guilds. I mean, probably 2 weeks. Because the thing is, you can just get invited back anytime. So if you're offline 2 weeks.
How are you?
All right, let's see what we can get rid of here. High quality bank deposit content. Light hide. Some tin we need to save too. 1 wax stick. What do I fucking get rid of, dude? Inventory boss is real. Alright.
Safe travels.
Should be good. To Wetlands. Cargo's got a new keyboard. It's louder than I remember. I think it's just kind of the music was quieter than usual, so you can hear it. All right, let's get the Wetlands. So we'll go to. Oh, I have something to turn in here. Almost forgot. Dwarven District. Okay. Has anybody ever timed the difference in taking a flight path to Ironforge versus taking the deep run tram? What is it faster? I feel like if I have to turn this quest into the Dwarven District. And I'm already there. The tram's gotta be faster, right? Faster than flight path. You should smell. Yeah, I'll do all that off stream. I already did the most boring shit ever making a guild on stream, so sorry about that. Trying to get into some new, we'll try and get into some new quests and a new zone. Nice new aesthetic. You hit 60 on the rope? Yeah, I did, Rick. Yeah, I hit 60 a few days ago. 24, 25, brother. 25, chicken. Good to see you, man. What level's the priest, man? Hey, Cargos, good to see you. Good to see you too, Sudden. Tram is faster. Hell yeah, flight path is only good if you need to AFK. Good to know. Another hardcore passing a spot. Love to see it. Getting to 27. How do I join the hardcore guild on Bloodsail? Are you just getting started? If you make a new character, just whisper anybody in victory or death, they can invite you. Oh, you know me, right? Thanks.
You got my attention.
And
Watch,
a
get her
shield.
back.
And a follow-up, huh? Fire hardened male. That's what this quest is. Elite. What is this quest, bro? I don't think I ever did this. I know all the secrets to make extremely hard mail armor. It is not easy and takes rare materials, but if you are willing to do the legwork, then I'll make a piece for you. Alright, see you later, Jay. Peace out, man. Oh, can I please make this tram one time? The blessed jump. Let's go. It's gonna be close. Ah, got it. Some good RNG. So this quest. Scorched Spider Fang, Charred Horn. Where the hell do I get any of this? Vial of Phlogiston? It's a chess piece that has an on-use grant rage effect. There's no way I can do this in hardcore though, or what? Or you blessed me off stream, but I failed you. You died, Failure? It's for a warrior spectre. It's a big grind, not worth. Oh, okay. Need to go to RFK. I'm gonna do RFK anyway. One of my goals was I was gonna tank like every dungeon possible. Thoughts on Pally Professions? I think Pally Professions, you have a lot of flexibility because you have free mount, right? So you can invest heavily into stuff like engineering, blacksmithing, it's no problem. I think engineering would be really good on Paladin. It'd probably be what I would go. That quest sucks even not on hardcore. Okay. Noted. So I'll just abandon it then, huh? Vice Brotherhood, this is GG. We already did our deadlines. Stockade. You think I can tank Stockade at 26? I like the grind for the warrior armor, wouldn't do for hardcore. Okay.
Fresh meat. Fresh meat.
Welcome, Fresh Meats, welcome. Pilot Longbeard, Stonebeard Search. Level 23, available in the military ward. I'm going to check this quest out. So we have Stockade and BFD we can run as well, right? And SFK. I kind of want to do all of them, man, to be honest. Doesn't that sound fun? Get that Seal of Rin? Oh, yeah.
Talk to me.
Whoops, wrong quest.
Be good.
What a back-of-the-box area, though, for real, man. The music and everything. Is this giving anybody Warcraft 3 vibes? With these siege tanks here, the dwarves, the lighting. This is actually fucking awesome. This little spot.
Where is Kenny Veach? That is a question that people have been asking for over the last 3 years, and no one has the answer. Well, maybe, but probably not. So who is Kenny Veach? Well, Kenny Veach is this cool customer. Not the knight, the other dude. So why is Kenny Veach is a hiker who went missing on November 10th, 2014 in Nevada, near Las Vegas. He told his family he was going to hike in the mountains and planned to return 2 days later. He disappeared while trying to find a cave he had previously discovered while hiking. Now, Kenny was a pretty experienced hiker. He was not just some city slicker who rocked up not knowing what he was doing. Now, hiking alone, it's obviously extremely dangerous. A barren desert, an uncharted cave. But something feels really off in this one. Kenny would at times post videos of his adventures on YouTube under the name Snakebit McGee. Hopefully that didn't turn out to be foreshadowing, but who knows. One of his last uploads is titled M Cave Hike. M Cave is the one he previously found. He said he didn't venture far into it, but he said it was one of the scariest caves he ever came across. Something about that cave spooked the hell out of him.
And I'm looking for a cave that I found, and I didn't have a sidearm when I was here before, and something about that cave just spooked me. Out of all the caves I've ever gone in, this one just made my body vibrate. The closer I got to it, the crazier my body felt, and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna go in there right now, but I'm coming back someday. And I talked to some people on YouTube, and I told them, hey, I'm coming out here, you know, because they kind of called my hand on it. So I don't know if there's gonna be anything to it, but it might be interesting. If I can find it, I gotta relocate it, and this is a big mountain range I'm in, and I'm on foot, you know, my truck's way out there. There's no roads, there's no trails. It's a pretty rough terrain. So hopefully I'll find it. It's shaped like a big M. It's a big cave that looks just like a gigantic M, and it's about as tall as I am and kind of narrow, and it's stuck on the side of a mountain. So I hope I can find it again. And if I do, I'm going in there. I'm gonna put on my light and take my gun out and walk in there, see if I find anything. We'll see.
This upload is him trying to find the cave again. However, he was unsuccessful. He goes out again to find the M cave after this video was uploaded. While he was trying to find the M cave, that cave that scared the crap out of him, he vanished. Maybe he found it. He mentions discussing finding the cave with other YouTubers. Here are the comments where he discusses more of when he found M Cave and his background in hiking. One time, during one of my hikes out by Nellis Air Force Base, I found a hidden cave. The entrance to the cave was shaped like a perfect capital M. I always enter every cave I find, but as I began to enter this particular cave, my whole body began to vibrate. The closer I got to the cave entrance, the worse the vibrating became. Suddenly, I became very scared and hightailed it out of there. That was one of the strangest things that ever happened to me. I have been in more caves than I can count. I play with rattlesnakes for fun. But this one particular cave was beyond anything I had ever encountered. Someday I will go back, and I will bring a weapon with me. Now, after he found M Cave the first time, he went back multiple times to find it again, including this video is documenting one of those expeditions to find it again. However, he was unsuccessful. Except for, well, maybe the last time.
There's lots of little caves, but they're not the kind of cave I'm looking for. The kind of cave I'm looking for is deep, and it's dark, and it's shaped like it's shaped just like the letter M. So lots of little caves and stuff along here, and it's about level with the ground, like right like in an area like this. So I really got to keep my eyes peeled because I don't want to pass it. You know? And then there's caves like that. You know?
I got back from a 10-hour hike yesterday. I completely searched the whole damn canyon. I could not relocate the cave. I found a tarantula, a tortoise, and a ram, but I could not find the cave. I don't know if you've ever climbed up and down a mountain for 10 hours, but it wore me out. His last post was, "I'm going again this weekend. I will be hiking solo for 3 days. I plan on covering about 40 miles. I will cross through the same canyon where I found the cave. If I don't find it again, I will just continue hiking over mountain after mountain to the north of the canyon. There is no guarantee that I will find the cave again. The region that I cover, it's vast. There are many caves. I have been in hundreds of them. The M cave is the only cave I ever feared going inside. I really want to find it again." Another really scary comment was by this YouTuber telling him that if he ever does find a cave, don't go in. And it was on one of these hikes to re-find M Cave that Kenny Veach disappeared. So, as I said, maybe he did find it and he never left. But there's something really weird about M Cave. Who knows if it'll ever be found by anybody else again. Shortly after he disappeared, a search was organized to find Kenny. His cell phone was found close to a very vertical old mine shaft, but nothing else, and no trail was ever discovered. It's as if he just vanished. Search and rescue, experts in wildlife and mines were brought in, and nothing was ever found of Kenny. He just vanished. Creepy.
Well, I did not find the cave. That is so weird. I mean, I thought for sure I was just gonna be able to find it. I remember it being fairly easy. Who knows? But I am at the mouth of the canyon. There, I'm just now coming out. And now I have to take a big left-hand turn and walk all the way back to my truck, which is a long, hard trip because I've got a lot of up and down to do. And that's it. I'll talk to you when I get back to my truck. This is the mountain range I'm walking around right now. Vegas is out that way. There's Mount Charleston. It's got a nice cool breeze going. If I wasn't hiking, I wouldn't be hot. And that is it. So see you later, tortoise. Goodbye, guy. Hope I didn't disturb you.
So, there you have it. That's the story of Kenny Veach and the M Cave. Who knows if he will ever be found, if M Cave will ever be found, but it is a terrifying story of disappearing in the wilderness. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate everybody who comments and watches my videos every time I post. It really means a lot, and I mean, it's been great to meet you all, and if I either creep you out or just make you laugh at me, probably. Then that makes me really happy. So again, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Leave a like or a comment, because that helps a lot. And thanks. See you in the next one. Mike out.
He had eyes cold as steel. It's like he was looking right through you. He was a con artist, smooth talker, could con you out of your wallet, your watch, your car.
There was nothing that would make you think he was a killer. He wanted to be a famous mass murderer.
He killed men, women, boys, girls. He didn't discriminate. If he decided to kill you, you'd had it.
Just about everywhere he went, he left a body.
The Casanova killer. I fell in love with him for maybe an instant.
He didn't want to admit that he was gay, and he killed them.
He killed 33 or 35 people. We were able to document 18.
I'm almost certain there are other victims out there. He made tapes of his escapades.
I'm a criminal. And I've been a criminal since I was a kid.
The year was 1974. Richard Nixon became the first U.S. president forced to resign. Stephen King published his debut novel, and I Shot the Sheriff was on the top of the charts. 1974 also marked the start of serial killer season in America. But this is the serial killer story that hasn't been told. Not like this. Paul John Knowles, PJK, the man dubbed the Casanova Killer. Some describe him as charming, attractive, and intelligent, for sure. It was during the summer of 1974 that Paul John Knowles crisscrossed the country, stealing cars. He'd rape, strangle, and slay victims. He swiped their credit cards and their prized possessions. Then, he'd take on the identity of his victims.
I worked for people who paid me and were professional criminals. Knowles was a criminal, a repeated criminal. Should have been a professional criminal, but he was an amateur. Pleasant, he was always pleasant. He didn't use curse words. He wasn't rude. He was polite. He was sort of passive to some extent. There was nothing that would make you think he was a killer. When I first met him as a burglar, he was just a loser, a guy that can't stay out of jail.
Paul John Knowles wanted infamy, but notoriety never followed. PJK failed. No one talks about PJK when they mention Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, or the Son of Sam. But this serial killer knew his fate, and he planned for it by recording confessions of his killings.
He was coming back from Key West, or somewhere in the Keys, and he calls me, and when he gets to Miami, and he says he's got to talk to me. It's important, he's got to talk to me. And I met him sometime around 9 o'clock at night at a bar, and that's where he tells me he's a mass murderer. Right away. I said, okay. He said, I'm a mass murderer. Brace yourself. And I said, oh, okay. And I laughed at him, I think. He had nothing in his background that would, reflect a person who would go around killing people. I said, what do you want to do with this? You want to surrender, go to jail? I'll help you get, turn you in. No, I don't want to do that. I want to have it documented. I want a book. I want some record made.
After 5 months on the run, the alleged Casanova was shot and killed by police. But PJK kept a log, recording the details of his murders on secret tapes left to his lawyer. He claimed to take 35 lives. But here's the thing. Investigators can only account for 18 deaths, and at least one victim got away.
My name is Barbara Maybe Abel. My maiden name was Maybe, and I married an Abel.
Barbara's twin sister, Beverly, suffered from cerebral palsy. The two women were living together when a serial killer showed up in their West Palm Beach home.
If I would have met Paul John Knowles at a nightclub, I would have gone out with him. He was very good looking. For an instant, I thought it was my ex-husband. I only marry good looking guys. And here I am in the same house that the kidnapping happened. So in 1974, on November the 14th, the day I'm never going to forget as long as I live, I knew something was wrong. And he said, don't turn around or I'll shoot you. And of course, I decided I'd turn around. And I couldn't believe what I did next. Walked him all the way through the house, this little cute house, and something made me go into the bedroom where Beverly was. She was tied up and with a sheet, and she had a gag over her face, and blood was coming out of the gag. I'm sorry. This maniac's in the bedroom with me, and he just finished tying up my son in the other bedroom, and I said, get the gag from out of her mouth. My God, she's got cerebral palsy. She's handicapped. What did you do to my sister? I said, did you rape her? And he says, I didn't do anything. I didn't hurt her. And I said, if you raped her, I said, I'm going to kill you. I said, that's my sister. And I knelt down beside the bed and talked to her, and I said, we're okay. I said, I'll give him the money and the keys to the car, and then he can go, okay? So she just nodded her head yes, and I kissed her. And he wanted to take me on I-95 or the Turnpike or wherever he wanted to take me. We went from West Palm Beach all the way up to Fort Pierce, which is at least 60, 70 miles up north. He gets a motel room and we go and he said, just pretend like we're married. And it didn't even cross my mind that I would be raped. He had raped me repeatedly over and over, but it wasn't rape in my mind because the man wasn't normal. He was not normal that way, sexually. It wasn't like a real man. He wasn't like a real man. He was trying but couldn't do anything. Impotent. When he tied me up, he always made it real loose. And then the last time, he didn't know that he left the keys on the nightstand. He didn't know that he did that. He just locked the door and went his way. And so I started sawing my sheet thing off, and I got myself loose. It wasn't even 15 minutes later, and the whole world was right there by my side. God bless him. I know what the paparazzi is now for all these stars. It's like, it was that bad. Then they take me like I'm a criminal, and I go to the Fort Pierce police station. I'm thinking, oh, I need to save him because he's really, really sick. Thinking he only killed like one person, so. Whoa, did I even, I didn't know. I was a copywriter. I know that's what saved my life. I had no idea how many he had murdered. He tried to keep telling me and I wasn't listening. I mean, who wants to hear that? And I was telling him, like, why do you want to write a book? And he wanted to be famous. Famous for what? Murdering a person? I fell in love with him for maybe an instant. I did whatever I had to do.
Barbara gave PJK an 8-hour head start. He took off in her car. What Barbara experienced was PJK's signature brutality: kidnapping, rape, torture, and then stealing her possessions. The only difference? Barbara lived. PJK's first known murder was 65-year-old Alice Curtis in Jacksonville. He forced his way in her home and gagged her, just like he'd done to Barbara. But Alice choked to death. He killed twice more near Jacksonville, strangled a woman in Atlantic Beach, killed a teenager in Bibb County, Georgia, and strangled a 24-year-old in Musella with a telephone cord. One of his most merciless acts of rage happened in Milledgeville, Georgia. A father and daughter in an absolute nightmare.
Worked a lot of murders, but that was the bloodiest crime scene I'd ever seen. I can still see the blood. I can see it in the bed. I can see him with all his stab wounds. And I was asking the coroner when we were at the funeral home during the autopsy, what were all those marks? Come to find out, he had stabbed him so many times that he broke the tips off the scissors. And those were the stab marks from where the tips were broken on the scissors. He was stabbed so many times, he bled through the mattress.
He strangled the daughter, and I believe they said that he tried to have sex with the body after she was killed. It was a gruesome thing. Mr. Carr and Mr. Knowles met at a bar here in Macon, and they went to his home in Milledgeville. And nobody knows the real reason. There's some speculation, but nobody knows the speculation. It might have been a gay encounter.
But he didn't want to admit that he was gay. So he killed him. It's just like committing a burglary. He commits a burglary, and therefore, when he commits the burglary, he has to kill the witness. So if you have a homosexual act, then he has to kill the homosexual. One thing the women said, he was a dud. A big, handsome guy, one could wine and dine you, could get you into the bedroom, but then he couldn't perform. I didn't think he was a Casanova killer. I just thought he was a murderer.
But the name, Casanova Killer, stuck anyway. After the car murders, PJK would slip up. He had ditched a car from one of his previous victims, a Chevy. When investigators found it, they learned the Casanova killer had not covered his tracks. He left a paper trail of his deadly path.
He killed people all over the country: California, Nevada, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Connecticut. What he would do is, when he would kill somebody, he would take their vehicle, along with their credit cards and things like that. He would use their credit cards for a while, and then he'd kill somebody else and get their credit cards and their car.
It was mid-November when a state trooper pulled Knowles over. Not wasting any time, Knowles took the trooper hostage. He flagged down another driver, James Meyer, and then he took off with both men, using Meyer's Ford as a getaway car. This was the beginning of the end for PJK.
They stop at a gas station. Knowles gets out, and the police officer, Campbell, and the other victim are sitting in the car and don't do anything. It's a four-door sedan. They don't make any effort. They make no effort to get out. They don't call for help. They do nothing. The next day, Knowles is driving the car himself. There's nobody else in the car. A police officer spots the car. They set up a roadblock. When they try to stop him, Knowles smashes into the roadblock, but he's able to get out of the car and he runs into the woods. And Knowles says, "I give up." He said, "I'm too tired to fight." And he gives up. He's bleeding. He's upset. He's injured. He's got a scratch on his leg and his face is cut and he's beat. So the murderer gives up.
Police had their mass murderer, but not his final victims. Still missing, Trooper Campbell and James Meyer. PJK wasn't talking, but he recorded confessions. Now, only one man controlled PJK's diary, and that man, attorney Sheldon Yavitz, was keeping those tapes locked away.
He made tape recordings of his killings. And the reason it was given that he did that is that he wanted to be the most famous mass murderer in history. And he wanted to have a recorded device of it. Apparently he described in great detail how he killed different people. Mr. Yavitz was refusing to turn over the tapes because he said it was attorney-client privilege.
And they said, "Well, you got to tell us where he is. We got to know where the bodies are." I said, "I can't tell you." So they were very upset about that. They assumed they were dead already. There was no issue in anybody's mind that they were alive. But we don't want them out there decaying in the woods. I said, "I don't represent the dead." My wife said I was nasty. I said, "I don't represent the dead." They were very upset about that. And they bring me before the judge and they say, "We want the tape." And I said, "I can't produce the tape." So they threw me in jail. Said I was in contempt of court. My wife had gone up with me to Georgia, and she's in jail. She invokes the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination, but she didn't know anything. And now she's in jail. And with your wife in jail, it's a real hassle. I mean, she wasn't very happy. She was pretty upset. So under those circumstances, I said, and I looked at it this way: if I'm turning over a tape to free my wife, then they can't complain that I've done anything. They're extorting me.
It turns out, investigators didn't need those tapes to find more victims. A hunter stumbled upon PJK's last conquest, and it was horrific. The missing trooper and businessman were left for dead in the woods. What investigators didn't know is that the end was near for PJK.
They have one cuff on each hand, and they're tied to it around a tree, and they're dead. He shot them in the head, top of the head. Knowles says that Meyer said to him, that's the other victim, "Make your own luck." That was his last words. Knowles always remembered that.
After they captured him, everywhere he went, they had a driver, law enforcement riding shotgun, two law enforcement guys in the back, Knowles in the middle, handcuffed and shackled. Ronnie Angel was a GBI agent in the car. Knowles had agreed to take him to where the pistol was that he used to kill the businessman and the Florida trooper. Knowles was in the back seat, handcuffed.
He got the handcuffs loose, reached over the seat, grabbed Earl Lee's gun, tried to get it out of the holster, shot a hole through the seat. Ron Angel pulled his weapon and shot him. Good riddance. I mean, it's a bad thing to say about somebody, but evil people, good riddance. He won't ever kill anybody else.
And just like that, PJK went from being held captive to dead, his murder spree finally ending with his own death. But his story didn't die with him, at least not right away. Police had his kill tapes, and they'd started combing across the country counting victims. He'd murdered and raped both men and women in Florida, Georgia, Ohio, Nevada, Texas, Virginia, and Connecticut. And he'd talked about it all on tape.
Knowles contended that he killed 33 or 35 people, and he didn't know for sure which. We were able to document 18.
He wanted, when he died, that his crimes be made known and the proceeds would go to his mother. It's his confession. He's describing what he did, who he killed, where he killed them. There's 14 on the tape. There's 2 in Milledgeville, Georgia, and the civilian with the police officer. That's what makes the 18. And it became evidence of the grand jury, and it never left the grand jury. But no one ever got to hear the tape. It doesn't exist. It may physically exist, but it's not playable.
The court had them, and it seemed like to me they had a flood in the basement somewhere, or water got in there and damaged it. I would love to have listened to them to try to understand why he did what he did. You don't kill 16, 17, 18, 29, 30, 35 people. You just don't do it. I'm almost certain there are other victims out there that are related to his activity.
Now that I know that he killed over 35 people, men, women, and children, I was thinking, you know, like, what made that person become a murderer, a serial killer? What on God's earth? I researched his background and stuff, like later on, you know, it took me years to do that. What would make him turn into a murderer? What would happen in somebody's life that was so horrible that would make them turn into crime? What would make him go berserk and start murdering? What could be so horrific in your life that somebody would do that?
The original confession tapes vanished, but hearing from the Casanova killer himself may be the only way to know. A court-appointed psychologist spoke with Knowles, revealing what goes on inside the mind of a killer.
If I had to live over again, I wouldn't. You wouldn't do it. I wouldn't live it again. It's been that bad. There's no way I'd go through another year of it. I fully intended to be shot before I was arrested.
Paul John Knowles made kill tapes. He recorded the details of his murders. The tapes were handed over to the court and locked away in Macon. According to investigators, both fire and a flood damaged countless court records. PJK's kill tapes are presumed to be lost forever. But there's a second set of tapes, and for the first time ever, they provided a telling look into the mind of a serial killer in his own words.
What's the worst thing that ever happened to you in your life? Worst? I was born. You sure?
The tapes are not the only way to get inside the mind of this serial killer. PJK left behind letters, notes, drawings, and accounts from the women he loved. Among those women he let inside his mind was a British journalist who he picked up in an Atlanta hotel bar. Sandy Fox was a different kind of prey for PJK, the kind who might be able to offer the one thing he desired more than all the others: fame. In her book, Natural Born Killer, she writes about life on the road with PJK. Sandy Fox passed away in 2005, but through narration, her journey is brought back to life.
I will never know for certain whether he would have killed me that last night, the one when I said goodbye so determinedly. His pattern was to kill approximately every 10 days, and he fulfilled it at the weekend. I learned a little of Knowles' life. He had been institutionalized from the age of 8. A stolen bicycle had led him to a lifetime of foster homes, reformatories, and prison. A grey life for a child, a life of uniforms, discipline, and few possessions. And like many others going through the system, he learned to live the harsh way, to life, cheat, and steal. And all the while to dream of glory, easy money, and escape.
You mean from the time you're born, you've been that bad against life? Well, I look at it like this. I was a hell of a lot better before I was born than I am. Or have been since I was born. Well, let me ask you something else. What's the best thing that ever happened to you in your life? Nothing. Nothing good. I'm a criminal. I've been a criminal since I was a kid. You really are saying that you believe you have a criminal mind? Well, it's been through the roof. My life has been more involved in the criminal sense than with the empathy. I realized there was a lack of, maybe not a lack of love, but a lack of caring one way or the other. So I had no doubt that they loved me, but they just didn't give me. Well, if you love somebody, how can you not give it them? Possible. It's possible. Well, perhaps they did give a damn, but they just didn't know how to show it.
Most of PJK's family passed away a long time ago, but his brother Clifton is willing to provide a look into the childhood of a serial killer.
We were so poor, there was 7 of us living in 3 rooms. It was like a great room where Mom and Dad slept in. A little bedroom and a kitchen. We had an outhouse. You know, when you're a child and certain horrendous things happen to you, you tend to block them out. In today's climate, we would all been taken out of the home. We would all been taken out of the home and probably fostered out. There was a lot of physical abuse. My father would call them, he called them whipping. I called them beatings myself. You know, when you leave black and blue marks on a kid from the belt, that's a beating. And the old man was beating Paul with his fist. And he was about to beat him to death when he got well enough, he ran away again.
And for 3 days I partied. You know, just rode around town, went to the shooting galleries, penny arcades, and that's what just whatever. Didn't go home? Sleeping in the woods. And then they called me. And they sent me in. And the next day I was in school, and they called me across the street to the police station. They started talking to me, and I admitted, you know, and that was when they sent me after.
Paul John Knowles was sent away to the infamous Dozier School for Boys. A 2013 investigation revealed that at least 50 bodies were buried on the grounds of the school. To date, more than 500 former students have alleged brutal beatings and a culture of abuse.
Florida School for Boys, which is the Dozier School for, I call it Florida School for Boys. And he stayed in and out of there until he got old enough to go to Rayford, the Florida State Prison. I call it Rayford, but it was Florida State Prison. And it was the same thing. Never stayed out over 6 months. It institutionalized him instead of reforming him. He didn't go in a killer. He was just a wayward soul that got tired of the beatings when he was a youngin' and got away from it the best way he knew how at the time. And one thing led to another, one thing led to another. The state of Florida has a hand in this too. They will deny it till hell won't have it. But the state of Florida has a responsibility in this too.
He had been in prison in Rayford, and I had been retained by his girlfriend, Angela Kovac, also known as Samuels, to get him a parole. She was a small, short woman, and I made a note somewhere that she wasn't very attractive, and she was older than him. And I couldn't understand the appeal, except that she had money. And she was a meal ticket out.
3 women had loved Paul John Knowles. His mother, for whom he had such a passion.
Come get the voodoo.
Me got the good stuff, man. Later. Hey there. See you later.
What you looking for? Good to meet you.